Welcome, dirty peasants, to episode 48 of Wartwood Gazette, the Amphibia podcast. This week we'll be covering Amphibia Season 3, Episode 10, Escape to Amphibia. I'm your host, Thembaticon, and joining me today we have Impact,
Yo, what's good, everybody?
PrincessCthulu,
I know it's only been a week, but it is good to be back.
and Nick.
What's up, y'all?
Alright, thanks guys for coming on. We got a lot of news this week. We got the Marcy. I think it was last night. They announced that. I'm pulling up the name of the publisher. I believe it was Tokyopop.
Yeah, it's Tokyopop.
Yep. So they announced that they're going to publish a Marcy's journal from the show, and it's going to have a bunch of. It's going to be Marcy about Marcy's time in Amphibia and whatever notes she made, and it's going to have lots of codes, secrets, character insights, all the fun stuff that we've come to expect from these Disney, these books published by Disney, similar to like Journal 3 and Star's Guide, and there's one more I think that I'm forgetting.
I'm trying to think.
I think that's it. I know Tokyopop's also publishing like a novel for the Owl House.
Yeah, I think like a light novel for the Owl House. Yeah.
Right.
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard
Nice.
about that.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I guess it's not the type of thing that'll generate like a lot of hype, you know, because it's gonna be, it's weird. It's like, it's called a light novel. It might be like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like,
think
it's
you
not gonna
meant
be like
young
the traditional
adult novel?
American book. Did they say young? I could have sworn they said light novel. Like, well, let me. I'll just check.
I could have sworn it was. I could have sworn it was light novel too, but I might be wrong.
Okay. But yeah, so we're getting that Marcy journal. They haven't announced a date yet. And then at the same time, Matt put like a challenge, like if it got 10,000 likes, he would post a teaser for season 3, and he did, and we'll cover that later because that's its own discussion.
Its own beast.
But before we get to that, we'll go into the episode today, which was Escape to Amphibia, directed by Jen Strickland and Joe Johnson, written by Gloria Shen and Michelle Cavan, and storyboards by Elysia Rocha, Danny Ducker, Cassie Zwart, and Anna Lenciani. This is their first time boarding Amphibia, which is great. So, this episode started off with, actually before we get into the like episode scene by scene, I guess starting with myself on general thoughts, I thought this was a solid conclusion to. This was a solid conclusion to the first batch of episodes of season 3. So we had Terri constructing the portal, and of course it actually worked. They were able to hone in onto. They were able to open a portal straight to not Wartwood, to Amphibia, and then planners did they did shopping at this Costco, at a supermarket basically, and Anne had to think about going back and saying goodbye to her parents again, and how that affected her. And then, of course, we have the FBI coming in, kidnapping the planners, and then all of our past allies in season 3 arrive to help Anne out in rescuing the planners again. And eventually we get that final confrontation, and the planners and Anne get back to Amphibia. And then they see the destruction caused by Andreas in his during his militarization and building up his troops. What that's done to the planet, or to Frog Valley. And I thought this was a really solid conclusion. And I mean, everything I kind of expected to happen happened. I'll get into my thoughts about all of that overall a little bit later, but this episode didn't really surprise me, but it left me feeling satisfied, and I'll leave it at that. I guess, starting with Impact, what were your thoughts on Escape to Amphibia?
Ooh, so this episode was very interesting to me. I really liked it. Just like the preference right now. I really enjoyed this episode. It was very fun. I love Anne's kind of like reluctance to leave her parents behind. That was really fun. But this episode had a lot of great scenes to it too. I think like it's an interesting thing to judge this episode. Do you judge this episode for being a mid-season finale for 3A, or do you judge it for being a premiere for 3B? And which one you think is better for it. Personally, while I understand why it was a mid-season finale, you can see how it was written that way. I think it works better as a premiere, personally. I think it works better that way, especially near the end. And yeah, I think Mr. X was really cool this episode too. We finally kind of got him more as like a big bad this episode. He was kind of like a small time nobody previously, and it was a nice time for him to actually be more of a threat and actually be more into Anne's like conflict in the episode. So that was nice. Anne's parents, awesome as always. I'll get to that in way more detail once we get further in the episode, because I think this was like the best the Boone choice have been in a while. And I think the big thing with this episode though is I don't think it'll change your opinion of 3A. I don't think it will ultimately. I think like if you liked 3A before, you'll like it way more now. If you didn't like it before, your opinion probably won't change that much. You might think it's a good episode, it has some fun scenes, but like if you're not like on board with the direction that they went, you're not going to be satisfied either way. So I think that's the big thing too. This isn't like a big game changer episode in terms of your perception of the whole show. It's kind of what you would expect, and I'm okay with that. It was fun for what it was, and a lot of like the jokes in this episode hit really hard as well. So I enjoy it. Escape to Amphibia is a damn good episode. So yeah, that's pretty much it on my overall thoughts.
All right, thank you, Impact. Nick, what were your thoughts on this episode?
I mean, I hate to say, but yeah, this is another episode that did get screwed by Disney's handling of via schedule, in my opinion. But I know at first watch, I was kind of like, I didn't enjoy that much. But then, like when I gave it a second try and I really just saw it for what it was, I really just enjoyed it. I mean, compared to other mid-season finales, like this episode's not as like dramatic or mind-blowing as them, but it's just when you line it up with what 3A was itself, which is really just like a quiet season overall, like this is the perfect way to cap it off, right? Just some really nice emotional moments, some really great humor, and just some like really great development for Anne here, and like just looking at it now, I know my first watch I was kind of unsatisfied, but now I'm pretty happy with what I got from this episode. Like, and I do have a lot to say, but I'm just gonna say that for later. So yeah, overall, really good episode.
All right, thank you, Nick. PC, what were your thoughts on Escape to Amphibia?
I think, I'm very much in a similar boat with everyone else in that this definitely does not feel like the kind of episode that would change your mind on this season. And that being said, I really do not think this episode was served well by being delayed for this long. I'm kind of of the opinion, personally at least, that part of the issue is that just this much hype over this long kind of raised expectations for a lot of people, even me a little bit, more than this episode could have met.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree there because, like, at this point in time, our minds were just focused on 3D. I mean, we saw the tweets hyping it up, so we were
Oh,
just,
absolutely.
yeah, we were just ready for that, and like,
And
no, like this, yeah. Oh, go
I
ahead.
fully expect 3B to be fantastic.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just this
Oh heck
this
yeah!
this is definitely, and I said this before the night the night that it aired. This definitely feels like a 3A finale and not a 3B premiere.
Yeah.
That's fair.
At least
That's
that's
fair.
how I'm looking at it.
So I know just 3A was just like, it was every time someone predicted like an episode would get angsty in the end, it never did. Like it was just, like I mean, yeah, there were your emotional moments here and there, but it was always like tender, like there wasn't really anything devastating except for a couple moments here and there. But still, though, like
No,
it
they
was mostly chill.
they genuinely did not want 3A to be angsty. They wanted it to be a chance for us to see how far Anna's come.
Yeah.
And part of this is because I won't get into this now, but part of this is I feel because of the simple fact that we might not be able to see how far they've come
Ever again.
after the show ends.
Right. And
But that's getting into the weeds, so I won't.
yeah, I was going to talk about it later, but since you guys like just mentioned it now, yeah, even before we learned about this episode title's name, I just knew it. I just knew in my heart that it would not be a good mid-season premiere, but I'll leave it at that for now.
I mean, I think it was a fine mid-season premiere.
I think it did
I'll,
work.
I'll get.
Okay, so
Oh, sorry, Impact.
okay. Oh, I was just gonna say because I'm a completely different opinion to you guys. I think it worked. I mean, I can see why you guys like. Okay, it clearly is written to be a 3A mid-season finale. I know that, and I think all of us know that. But I think I don't know. I was feeling it. It felt like a proper goodbye to all these characters already, and I think the stinger at the end kind of got me. It was like I don't know. I feel like it worked pretty well either way. It felt like a natural goodbye to me. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Like,
I mean, I'm with you. I think it definitely worked as a premiere. I don't think it was, but like Matt said, it wasn't meant to be a premiere.
Yeah,
yeah, and that's
But
what
it did work. It did work.
I do want to revisit this topic near the end, but yeah, I preferred this as a mid-season finale, and I'll get into my reasoning later. But I guess going into the episode, this starts off with Mr. X, Jenny, and their superior bringing up all these past appearances of the planners in public, and it kind of focuses on Froggy Christmas, what happened there with the Andreas evil Santa fight, and I just thought it was nice that even though Mr. X was getting embarrassed uh, each time, that eventually these events were like impossible to like cover up,
ignore.
and he kind of got vindicated and gets all the supplies he needs basically to take out the planners.
Yeah, and I think with it too, like they set it up in Froggy Little Christmas too, when like I think it's like the radio, like authorities are cleaning something up at the night. So people clearly saw it, right? We obviously saw the audience see it too at the parade. So I love they brought it back, like just in general. Yeah, like done like what you said, of just combining everything that the planters have done so far in the season in just the gigantic robot fight. You can't like everyone saw that. There's no like hiding that out. So I love that they bring that back. It makes it feel like everything naturally led up to Mr. X having more like manpower and people actually giving a crap about what he's doing and what he's saying. So yeah, I think that was a good call bringing FLX back for this specifically. So yeah.
Yeah, and I like how Mr. X's demands, like I'm looking at the screenshot of his ideal, I guess, truck or vehicle. It has like stuff like it has super fast Wi-Fi, and then there's like a note that mentions like crazy fast, jet rocket, big old
Yeah.
tires, pirate sword, shark fin, and then there's like
I
a seat on top for like some kind of machine gun.
I do like how Mr. X is still a little childish in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that kind of makes the FBI like it makes their presence at least. I know since it's Disney, they were always going to be somewhat goofy, but at least Mr. X kind of makes it even more cartoony, which is fine for me.
Yeah, this really it works really well with Mr. X because like this is his dream job, right? Like he loves this. So like, yeah, I bet you
Mis-
can even tell that like, he's always been into extraterrestrials ever since he's like you can guess like maybe that's been his interest since even when he was a kid. So like this just feels like a dream job to him. So I feel like even something as goofy as this still makes sense for him.
Yeah, you can tell that Mr. X is having the time of his life.
Yeah, and I think like with that too, if the FBI being a little goofy, I kind of think that makes it work so well with 3A and what it was going for a bit more. You know what I mean? Like we can't really have like Mercer X go like all super serious like with Darcy and Andreas or something. So it's nice to have a villain who still has presence, especially this episode. That can still goof around and joke around. And it's a nice contrast to Cloakbot too. Because Cloakbot's, he didn't really have a lot of personality. He was just a deaf robot. He had something here and there, but like he wasn't gonna have like a whole dialogue with Anne and tell her off or anything, But like Mr. X, he can do a lot more, and I'm glad they really made him a lot stronger in this episode. I feel like previous episodes, I didn't really know how to feel about him, but like I think this episode kind of made me, in my head at least, understand. Okay, this is why Mr. X is actually in the show, and they had a lot of fun with him either way. So he was great. So yeah.
And yeah, I totally agree, Impact. And I'm gonna go on to the next scene with and the planners, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes back. We get the start of a wonderful running gag with Hop Hop and the avocado toast, or not the toast, just avocados in general. And he kind of continues that they kind of continue that tradition of all of like the best food in Amphibia is like an absolute pain to actually like be
It's very
edible.
dangerous.
Yeah. What was this one? Like covered with poison barbs for the avocados, but
Yeah,
so yeah, like
probably in that dangerous vegetable part of the planter family cookbook.
definitely with the alongside the tomatoes. So basically, Terri is explaining how the how like the not the box calamity box itself, but how it's how how to actually travel between worlds, and it's based the coordinates are based on music notes, and she like the planners kind of they somehow heard the music box when the portal was open, and using whatever rhythm they heard, they were able to she was able to open up a portal, like a very small one, to Amphibia. And just that detail about like the music box, the music notes being coordinates for the multiverse, that was such like an interesting line. And it's nice that the music itself actually has like a meaning, or like actual like inside this universe has meaning, which is great.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, it felt like a oh yeah, that makes sense, duh, or like a aha moment as soon as we got it. Like I loved how they connected that together with the piano and stuff. That was so smart. Like it could have just been like some generic corridor or whatever or something like that, but like I just love it. I love them bringing like the music part of it with it being a music box and stuff. it felt like a eureka moment as soon as like Terri said it. I don't know. It was just really neat. It was like a yeah, it was awesome.
I agree completely.
And especially when I like how we hear it like multiple times throughout like the episode, like that theme, except like we don't actually hear like the regular music box theme that we've heard in like the past episodes. We hear like just different instruments playing or different sounds of it. So like the first time it's like Anne and the planet's just humming and oh, just like it was just funny how like all the planets just started like randomly humming like at different points. I don't know, I just thought that was cute. But yeah, like
I think,
so. Oh, go ahead.
no, you go, Thumb. I wasn't gonna say much.
Okay, I was just gonna say so. Anne hums it, then Terri plays it on the piano, and then we get that really like awesome like synth rendition of the music box theme. At least I think that's the music box theme. Like,
I think, yeah, I thought
It
it
is.
when I first heard it. I thought it was the
I'm gonna
Grime.
listen to that again.
Yeah, like I wasn't sure. I was so confused. I'm like, it wouldn't make sense if it was, but I'm like, it makes more sense if it's the Calamity Box theme. When we first saw the clip, like it doesn't sound like it is I don't know if it is. It's weird. I'm gonna assume it is, and that was the intention, but I can't tell. It's weird.
like all I know is that like the notes here match up with whatever happens near the end of the episode, except with like the choir for Anne's like power. But like I'll get into that then. But yeah, I thought they were similar. I just really like that synth noise because we don't really hear it too much in Amphibia. Like I know because like Amphibia has more of like a little folksy uh background
Acoustic.
music. Yeah, like that kind of like soundtrack. And like when I was watching like Star vs. The Force of Evil, like that was like the synthesized noise was like the default by like Brian H. Kim, and I really love that. I just like hearing the more technological noises or technological synth music show up in Amphibia because it stands out a lot more.
Yeah, it really does. Which is kind of fun to me, to be honest.
Yeah, especially in season 2 where like that's when the show kind of shows off that this world was like more advanced than we thought. It was really it was really refreshing to hear that.
Yeah, it was just so different than what you're accustomed to. In the best way possible.
Right. So yeah, they open up the portal and the planners look through the telescope and they can see like that red mantis from the very first episode. Just and that was a nice callback. And
Yeah.
of course, like the mantis
Uh,
like can like smell spring apparently, and it puts its leg out or its front leg out trying to grab him, but they immediately shut down the portal and cut it off.
It's on. Yeah. I think like
That was kind of brutal, not gonna lie.
yeah, right? And like we see it's like its arm is gone like when it comes back too. Like it's the same one. Like I think the weird thing here about like Amphibia like that we see is that like obviously we don't see a lot, but like they kind of like they don't show you everything. You know what I mean? It kind of looks like regular Amphibia with just like a gray sky. And that had me a little like weirded out at first. I know why they did it because like obviously the stinger works better if you don't see the all of Amphibia and all it's messed up as. But when we first see it, it's very like it's very normal looking. You know what I mean? Like I thought when we first saw Amphibia it was gonna be like a bunch of robots, something, but no, they kind of tricked us with it a little bit. Well, kind of. I mean, we knew what it looked like, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I totally gotcha.
Yeah, they showed like just a regular like an untouched part of Amphibia. and then like so
Yeah,
just so the stinger is a little bit more effective.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
they really tricked us into the idea of like home sweet home, right? Like, look at this, like the praying mantis from the first episode of the show, right? Like it makes you think, wow, we're almost here. We're gonna get back to Amphibia, and then
And
boom, we have
everything's
this
gonna be
stinger.
all right.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what makes a stinger work really well. Even so we got like a glimpse of it in Olivia and Yuna. I feel like that's why it still really works here. Like they set it up.
Yeah, and we'll get into that ending scene too, like later on. And but yeah, I agree. It was nice how they didn't really. I would have preferred, not preferred. It would have been neat if like they showed the mantis like the background, like maybe not too gloomy, but maybe like a little bit off. But I get it.
Yeah, I think like I don't know, because when I first saw the clip, I was a little worried. I was like, "Wait, what? That's what Amphibia looks like? That doesn't make any sense." Because we only saw Newtopia in Olivia and Yuna, and I'm like, "Is that the only place that's getting like fracked right now? Like, what's happening?" Like, I was a little worried, a little bit, but thankfully, the stinger got me like, okay, it makes more sense what's going on now. I gotcha. So
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
Right. And then so they close the portal and that mantis leg still got sliced through. And then yeah, like Anne and the planners are happy that they have like a way back home. And I think does Anne mention that they have she mentions Amphibia as home as well? I'm just trying to go through the clip again at the same time.
I don't know.
I don't remember. Like genuinely.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, never mind. She mentions it as Amphibia, not home. But okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if she saw it as like a second home or something.
Yeah, and then she also brought up like defeating Andrews and rescuing her friends, and then Dr. Jan kind of like congratulates Anne on her progress and just talks about how like she's so brave, like doing all this stuff and leaving behind her parents and home, and that's when Anne kind of starts to remember what she's leaving behind, and that kind of gets her like we can see her face. She's starting to think about it a little bit more, and that was nice to
Which
start
is
off.
yeah, and this is like a weird thing. I swore like there was gonna be more conflict with Anne. Like, okay, so like my question when going to Amphibia was like, are the parents gonna show up? Are they? Are they not? I'm like, it wouldn't make any sense if they. It would make sense why they would want to, right? But like, would they? They would kind of get in the way with like the Anne, Sasha, Marcy mumbo jumbo. So I'm like, probably not. And I thought that would have been like a whole conflict in this episode, and it is. Anne doesn't want to leave her parents, but it's like I thought the parents would have been more reluctant for her to go with just the planters, but that wasn't the case at all. I mean, it makes sense when I started to think about it more because it shows more of their growth. The parents actually seeing Anne as responsible enough to actually be able to handle everything in Amphibia and believing in her. But I don't know. I thought that would have been like a more of a conflict, but I guess not. Which I'm okay with what this episode gave us. So
I mean,
yeah, that's it.
we can probably talk we can talk a little bit about it now. It's just yeah, that was kind of weird to me that they were completely fine with Anne going on her own with the planners. And like when I think about it a little bit more in terms of like what they're thinking, okay, they saw Anne like launch a robot into orbit, and it's like okay, maybe they think like she can handle herself. But, like,
Yeah,
I'm just surprised.
yeah. I
Also, I
guess.
mean, just like the whole point of like this entire of the entirety of 3A is that like
Anne's responsible enough.
you, yeah, like she's earning that trust with her parents.
I think that's a really good point. I think like I don't know. I thought they would have had like at least some way to communicate like from like Amphibia and to Earth. You know what I mean? At least some reliable way to get back. Because like the portal gets destroyed and like Anne has no way to get out besides getting the Calamity box. Like, I don't know. It seemed a little irresponsible. I don't know. Like,
I mean, in fairness, that wasn't their plan.
That's true. But like,
That's just kind of how it happened.
I guess the thing is with them, it's like their development here makes complete sense, but it's also like, damn, it's really that easy? Like are you guys really that?
Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of funny now that I think about it. But
like, woo, and go fight some robots. Bye.
It's like going to a war.
Going to an apocalypse.
Literally run into the apocalypse, man. But it's like, it's funny. It's funny though because it's like, I mean, I feel like they it makes complete sense, but it's also like
it's still weird.
Can't shake that weird feeling off, you know? Yeah,
it is a little odd. It's a little odd.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like Anne threw Anne kicked a nuke into space, but then at the same time, it's an Asian mom. Like I kind of expected.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, this is firsthand experience. Like I wouldn't think there's anything like more. Is it really that easy? Like you could just convince your parents that's fine.
I thought I swore Mrs. Boonchoi in Anne's Terminator, she was a little reluctant, right? To go with all of Anne's crazy stuff in Amphibia. I swear to God that would have been a big thing in this episode, but it really isn't. I don't know, man. It makes sense, but it's I don't know. I feel like it's I don't know if I'm nitpicking or we're nitpicking or it's an actual problem. I don't know. It's so weird. It feels so iffy. I don't know.
Yeah,
it is a little odd. I don't know if it's a nitpick, but it does feel a little odd.
I guess because we didn't really get their feelings on Amphibia, on the parents' the parents' feelings on Amphibia beyond Anne's Terminator. Because I know right at the end of Anne's Terminator, that's when Mrs. Boonchoi is finally on the same page with them. So when she's finally committed to their goal. But beyond that, we didn't really get to hear what they had to say about the whole thing. Even so, it does make sense why they're okay with this. It's there's still that sort of gap, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I guess credit to the show to making us actually debate this, because if they didn't flesh out the parents' relationship with Anne well enough in 3A, we probably would all be thinking oh, they're just letting Anne go like that. But at least now we're having a conversation about it.
Yeah. There's evidence to why they would do it in the first place. So, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and then Terri mentions that they need a more powerful generator, and they got to go buy a bunch of supplies, and that's when Terri kind of throws in a few extra items. The yogurt covered pretzels.
Well, 8 gallons of yogurt covered pretzels. They asked her, "Is that really necessary?" She's just like, "Yes."
Yes.
I love that. Jesus, Terri.
How big would that be? About.
I'm not even sure. Yeah. Sounds like a lot.
It sounds like a lot, but I feel like that would last a year for Terri, or I don't know. If she needs 8 gallons, maybe she's trying to stock up.
I don't blame Terri though. I mean, I feel like she lost. I feel like she probably spent her Christmas just working on the portal. So I guess this is the one way they could pay her back.
Yeah, she probably don't. She was an intern to Dr. Frank's or whatever. She probably got no money. Yeah. She can't be buying anything. So you might as well try to get something out of the Boonchois. I don't know.
Yeah, and it looks like the Boonchois are loaded because they go to Spendco, and this is I just want to say Costco, like Costco parody, but like I guess for any international viewers, it's basically like a really big, like a much bigger like supermarket slash warehouse, not supermarket, shopping center slash warehouse to buy supplies in bulk. And that's where the Boon Choys and Planners go to like pick up all their supplies.
Yeah, Costco is it is like a wholesale uh big box bulk shopping store.
Right. Like you wouldn't go there for like a family of like you wouldn't go for just like two people. Like you usually
Yeah, you buy in like industrial grade amounts of stuff. Well, no, you can't. You can do shopping for just a few people there, but it does get excessive.
yeah. So yeah, all the planners arrive there, and and then we get that scene where like the camera focuses on them, and Mr. X is watching them, and they all kind of split up with like Hop Hop obsessed with the avocados, and Polly and Frobo go off somewhere, and Sprig also heads out. And minor detail, it was really nice to have the cameras pick up the planners as cold-blooded.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was really cool.
that was nice.
Yeah, I'm looking at our friend Sunsphere's notes, just because he wrote up a lot about this episode.
You did.
Well, also, I thought it was so cute when Anne said like no hopping, right?
Oh
They
yeah,
started
like
jumping
immediately to
around.
Sprig.
Yeah, yeah, that was just really adorable. You know, because it's like just so casually too. You know, I feel like she's really at the top of her game in a way here. You know, so it feels really nice to see that after how rocky of a start it was for her at the beginning of 3A.
Yeah, she's really honed down the caretaker role for the planters. It's just so chill now. Before, like in like Hollywood Hop Pop, she'd be like yelling at Hop Pop not to do something, and he would just ignore her. But now it's just very casual, like no hopping, guys. Like okay, sorry, and then that's it, and then everything's good now.
It's just it's the little things like that. The little things.
Yeah, and like the planters too are way more adjusted as well. Like they're not like before when they were like in like some store or whatever, like in the mall, they caused all kinds of problems. Now when they go there, they just buy a bunch of stuff and leave. Like that's
Well,
it. There's
okay.
no like chaos. So
There was a little bit.
there was a little
bit of
bit.
chaos.
Well, a little bit, yeah. But I mean, like, you know, they weren't like
Yeah.
destroying the whole place.
No, not this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then while the planners are off doing their own thing, eventually Anne fights Darth Vader. Oh wait, no, it's just her dad. And this whole scene of like there's it's just so funny because I know Matt is not a fan. Like he I shouldn't say not a fan. I know he talks about like Star Wars on like Twitter a lot, and it's just so fucking funny how like they just have this whole like Star Wars sequence here with like Anne and Mr. Boonjoy, and then they also have like a little like a it sounds like very similar, like the music sounds very similar to the Imperial March while they're fighting, and while Anne and Mr. Boonchoy are just doing their little duel, and then Mrs. Boonchoy comes out and holy
That was so good.
like
the Marcy
okay, yeah, so like yeah, no, I love to make fun of I love the memes of like what happened in True Colors, but just seeing the crew actually do it themselves, like holy shit, like
I mean, honestly, I'm not even surprised they did that because I know, like earlier in the season, they made that heron joke to the planters, like the fucking, like the freaking animal that ruined their lives. They just make fun of it, and it's like, wow.
It's great, man. No, I swear, Amphibia's entire crew are like ruthless when they really want to. They didn't have to make that joke, but they did. I first saw that. I'm like, did they just?
They did.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
It's just, and also the sword is the same color, and even I know, like, in the new normal, I think, Alexa Swanson, they posted, like, a tweet of, like, a deleted storyboard of, like, Anne watching, like, a TV show with the same thing happening, and they cut it out, and we all thought, like, oh, yep, that makes sense. It's a little too dark having that scene recreated, and then, like, right here, they do the same shit with Mrs. Boonchoy. Like, oh man, why?
Oh, it's so good.
It's great, but like, damn, like, because we. Okay,
It's like
I should
the
be.
show's darkest moment. Literally, the show's maybe it was one of the show's darkest moments. They just toss it away like it's nothing. That's just great. I love the fact the crew is able to find humor in anything like that.
Yeah,
The
just because
crew is just so funny.
they're savages, like, and it's just because I know so many people like they talk about that scene, and
In
then the crew,
hushed tones.
yeah, like, yeah, and yeah, like, oh, like this scene was the turning point for Amphibia, and then the crew's just like, hey, look, it's Mrs. Boonchoy with a hood, like,
Yo, you know what'd be funny? What if yeah, no, it was fantastic. Like no notes.
yeah, and then even before that, I mean, some people brought up how like when Anne like beats Mr. Boonchoy and then his mask is kind of like moved over to the side and he's like and he pretty much like pleads mercy and people are like
Say, hey, go easy on your old man.
yeah, like maybe this is like a Darcy moment in the future
Damn.
and I mean like normally I kind of like brush this stuff aside until it's like actually like relevant, but I don't know, man. That seems kind of like
I mean, it could be, we kind of just have to wait and see is the thing.
yeah, and especially because like the colors are similar, but I know it's just like a Darth Vader parody, but oh, I also like how the mask like for the mouthpiece they flipped it upside down so it's smiling, kind
Oh
of.
yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, then eventually they get chased away by that like employee, and then Anne gets a little bit like sad about it. Actually, give me 1 minute. Just someone start talking about that scene.
I mean, I thought it was really great. Like, I think,
Yeah.
the scene of yeah, that was a really great moment right there. I know, like, usually like the first half is sort of like soft when it comes to the emotional moments, but I really like it.
Yeah, it was
So,
nice to kind of have Anne like reflect a bit more. I feel like we haven't really seen Anne do that a lot this season, which, that's a whole thing. But like I don't know, it was really nice to kind of have Anne be at like more of an emotional kind of like vulnerability in this episode just in general. I don't know. It was nice to see out of her compared to like the rest of season 3 where it's kind of been not numb, but more so like
It's been kind of separated.
yeah. And it's like it's just nice to kind of have to push Anne to a point where she is starting to like reflect a lot more. I don't know. I think I'll get back to that once we get to the
Yeah,
prison
because
talk.
there's definitely more to get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really liked it. I really liked how we got a short moment of that kind of reflection.
It's just really nice to see, especially where we started off. Because I know, like, when we first started here, when we first started season 3, like, this was more like a pit stop to Anne, right? Like, even though these are her parents, she never really saw them as, like, people to confide in just yet, right? Like, she just, sure, she wanted the chance to, reunite with them, but she also just wanted to get out of there as fast as she could, right? But now, yeah, like, she's closer with her parents than she's ever been before, and, like, yeah, she's not sure if she's ready to leave them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like the whole Star Wars battle too is great, not only as a reference, but also it's nice to have like Anne bond with her, her mom and dad. That was cute. I love that. That was really fun.
Cute.
Like, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like how I think you guys covered all her thoughts on her parents pretty well. Like how in the start of the season, it was more of like a inconvenience for Anne to like navigate all of her like Amphibia related goals or quests around them. But that now that they're fully involved, she's like much more thoughtful. Like she thinks about it a lot more now, or at least in this episode. And
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And then I guess like one of my favorite moments of the episode is when she immediately like goes to Sprig. Like I don't know if she was like intentionally like looking for him, but I'm just so glad that she like ended up going to him right after, and then eventually getting that talk and I just love that scene because like Sprig is just like having fun, tries launching a water balloon, and like and like she just oh yeah, she does say she has to go find Sprig. And then I'm looking for her audio or dialogue. She says like, "Sorry, I missed it."
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, she said it didn't hit me, and I think that could be a double meaning of how like the realization that she's going to leave her parents like didn't hit her. At least that's how I like saw. That's how I saw it. And then like
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and then Sprig like immediately kind of identify that there's something more than that going on, but he's like still super cheerful about it too. Like when he points at her heart and like I know it comes back later. I just love how like Sprig's like emotional IQ when it comes to like his friendship with Anne is like off the charts. And then he just goes back to being like an 11-year-old.
Yeah, that's great. And like, and it just makes so much sense because like I feel like in a lot of ways Sprig did have to grow up fast, right? Like he faced like a huge tragedy when he was a young kid, so it really made him understand what's important in life, like your relationships you have. And so, yeah, I just love those moments for it.
It gives him such a unique perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like it's just great. It's really great to have like moments where he's like a complete idiot, and then moments where he's just like I don't know. He offers advice to someone who's like 6 or 7 years older than him. I don't. How old is Sprig again? Like 11, right?
Sprig is 11.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, someone who's like 5 years older than them. Like he can offer really, really good advice to her.
I mean, Anne is only 13.
Nick's going off of his
unless we get into another one.
Well, yeah, we're okay.
I just can't stand it.
I know. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but even if she seems like she was written at 16, she is still 13.
No.
I know. It's very hard.
Yeah, and then I like how Sprig like mentions that her parents are cool, and I know Sprig suggests that they could wait a couple more days before going back to Amphibia, and I know like all of us are thinking like, are you sure about that? Like, especially whatever's going on there, but
Yeah, I feel like that was like a huge like regret moment. As soon as they got there, it was like, oh, we probably shouldn't have been taking that long. Oh my god, they thought like Amphibia nothing was happening. I don't even know if they knew like
They had no idea what was going on in Amphibia.
yeah,
They had no clue.
man.
yeah, and we'll get into that
Yep.
reaction later. But yeah, like
yeah.
Yeah.
at least since we know the episode's called "Escape to Amphibia," we kind of know what happens by the end. But
Yeah,
Yeah, at
we,
least-
we do.
but in that very moment, like when Sprig says that, it's like I just shiver a bit. But,
So good.
and then Hop Pop like comes up with his like he arrives with his cart full of avocado products and then,
That joke was funny.
and then we
I don't know why.
and then we get RC
Oh, dummy.
Frobo, which
Oh yeah.
we saw back in like
I-
the season 3
What the
post
fuck?
poster.
We've been waiting for the reveal all season long, and like, damn, and then here it is, everybody.
Yeah, and he just
Oh
shows up, and
man,
all Frobo does in this episode is vomit on people. That's all he does. That's how significant Frobo is. His relevance has just become vomiting on people.
Hey, he's a baby. Cut him some slack.
Yeah,
What a Chad.
Yeah, he baby.
What a Chad.
Oh my God.
Frobo's a Chad, dude. What?
He baby. I don't know why he's so judgy.
I like how they gave him like a whole little scene of him like going up a ramp and like hitting like a stack of cups down, and
They're like, oh, this is cool, right? Like, you guys love this, right?
yeah,
I don't know about you. I loved it.
I mean, I didn't dislike it. It was just, it's just funny that all he does is vomit on people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll like
I
As long
want him to stay as a race car now. If he vomits on Andrew, that'd be hilarious. Keep it as a race car for the whole season, please.
as long as Frobo gets another like form before the end of the series, like I'll tolerate RC. Like RC Frobo's fun, but if this is all we get of Frobo, then my opinion on it will change. But
Well, you already know what I think was going to happen.
yes, PC. We know they all have souls.
Because if you didn't know, I could explain it.
You did it like for those of you listening, just listen to the Fixing Frobo and Exterminator podcast. I feel like this is like I feel like this is like a comic book like footnote on the page where it's like for more
Oh,
information,
God.
please see.
Yeah. Don't mind the 15 minutes of us mourning Cloakbot. Like,
Oh man, justice for Cloakbot though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like Polly's
think,
watching what was that Die Hard parody called?
I think it was.
Die difficultly. or
Yeah, Die
something.
Difficultly.
Something really dumb.
I love the show for that. I love the fact they never try when they're making a pun. What the fuck? Try difficultly.
Amphibia loves its puns. It
I love
always
that.
has.
I love that.
And is Dragon Liver like another parody?
It was Dragon Liver. I remember Dragon Liver.
Oh, that was like something in Polly's like cart.
Yeah.
Dragon. Honestly, I have no clue what Dragon.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was liver.
Yeah, it's Dragon
Like a
Liver.
movie called, Dragon Heart. Oh, okay. I guess
Or
it's a
are
movie
you
called
asking like what it was parried, what the joke was of?
Yeah, that's
it was
what I
a
wanted.
joke.
Yeah. Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
joke of Dragonheart. No, the original movie was also Dragon Liver.
Oh,
No,
Oh.
I'm joking.
oh.
Oh,
It was Dragonheart.
oh,
It was
Dragon.
that was a joke.
Oh wait, yeah, I watched like one of those Netflix movies with my nephews. Yeah, like Dragonheart 3 or something, but it's not related to the other two movies. It's a whole. I'm getting off topic, but yeah, like Polly watched a Die Hard parody, and she and Hop Hop like go off to pay for all the stuff with Mr. Boonchoi's credit cards.
Credit cards, 8 credit
Ah,
cards.
that was so funny. I loved that bit.
I mean, since they manage a restaurant, I can kind of see why they would need like different.
Yeah, you got business expenses.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they're loaded too. Like I guess.
Well-
it seems like. I mean, shoot.
That's not. I'm sorry. That's not how credit cards work.
No, I don't mean. No, I don't mean like. I didn't. Never mind. Forget it. I was trying to get to a point with that. Forget it. Never mind.
No, it's that. It's that.
and we get that like stacking joke with all the players in between, like it's a
Tetris.
yeah, like a Tetris.
Oh yeah, they're
thing.
playing Tetris music. That was so good.
Yeah, I like that joke of Mrs. Boonchoi, like why she married Mr. Boonchoi, and that's cute. We'll get another moment of that later. And then the FBI shows up, and
Yeah, they just kind of show up.
Yeah, it's just. I thought like it just happens. Like obviously they set it up, but like they're just like okay, they just go. There's no
Yeah, I was
chase.
not-
There's no nothing. They just come in and take them and leave.
I was not
Like-
ready for the FBI to be so suddenly competent.
Yeah, like I like that though. Honestly, like
I honestly
they-
do, because they got lucky so many times.
yeah. I don't know. It was nice just to have Mr. X, because they could have been repetitive and been like, let's do another car chase like with Ant's Terminator. But I like that we kind of had a car chase, but it was different.
That was later though.
Yeah. And it's like, even then, like,
and
I don't know. I just like the FBI just being more of a bigger threat this episode. I think that was a lot better in general.
Yeah.
You just come in, take the planters, that's it. There's no chase. You just get them. There you go. I like that.
I agree completely. It was kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
And in this case, technically, like they're the ones, like the Boonchois are the ones doing like the chasing, because they're just like trying to catch up to the FBI van. But like in the past,
Yeah.
it's mostly like something's after them. Well, technically, yeah, the FBI are still after them, but like in terms of like the chase, but
Yeah,
and,
I mean that leads right into it. They chase after the FBI after the FBI just kind of takes the planters.
and then like the show like uses every opportunity it can to just have Hop Hop in his boxers, like.
Yeah, that's just.
Oh
that's,
yeah,
That's mean. I feel like that was so unnecessary. I mean, like.
it's a running joke at this point.
Yeah, I think this is the third time.
Like I think it's just.
Four in the road.
So I don't, yeah, wait, 4 in the. Oh yeah, he got his clothes blown off, right?
Yeah.
Or wait, no, yeah, wait.
No, they were lasered
no,
off
he-
that time too.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So his clothes have been lasered off twice now. What the hell? Okay, so there's
He
that.
flew off, too.
Yeah, then sprayed vomited acid onto him. That melted his clothes.
And then
So there's that.
and then if you give a
Look,
frog a
what-
cookie, they get his clothes get
Yeah.
blown off.
Yeah.
This show
Look,
is
they
fucking
just want to show off Hot Pop's cool underpants. Do you have a problem with that?
Nah, Hop Pop's an icon.
He is.
And like he said, like if you got it, you gotta flaunt it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
and he got it, so he got to flaunt it.
just can't let Hop Hop keep his dignity. Like they have to strip it away from him. That's how they have.
They literally
Oh
they
my
strip Hop Pop of his livelihood, his farm, his vegetables, and then even like his own clothes. Like, what does this man have left?
His family.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
know.
he
I'm
has
setting
left.
up that.
Oh damn. Poor guy.
Yeah. So we had the chase, and of course, like Mrs. Boonchoi is like driving, and then we get to see like Mr. Boonchoi admiring Mrs. Boonchoi. That was a cute moment.
Yeah, it's really adorable.
And then Anne even like Mrs. Boonchoi just mentions that like driving like this is just like driving in Bangkok. I mean, yeah, I know like traffic can be a little like more intense in other countries, like, and I love like the joke where I think this is the second time where she does that like side driving trick again. Like I think she does it in the Mr. X episode with like on the highway, but she does in this like little alleyway, and then we get that slow motion shot of like the screaming rat in that dumpster. I don't know, that was such a weird thing.
Oh yeah,
That was really funny. That was really funny.
bizarre.
Damn. Like, this episode is just so damn funny. Like, every joke just lands.
Yeah, I'm just replaying that scene again. It's like Mrs. Boonchoi just like super confident and super competent, which is really great. Yeah, so eventually they discover like the location of this like off-site FBI base, and they're like watching from like the road, like on like higher terrain. And then that's when they decide they need backup, and before that, like we get to see Mr. X interrogating the planners, and
This whole scene was so funny.
yeah, this pretty much like yeah, like this is how like the planners would react in like interrogation. Like Hop Hop's just talking about his farm. Spring, like he immediately goes to his like life story, and then Polly is just.
Polly was the best.
I think this is more like when Polly like brings up a bunch of like people they've like faced in the past as her like list of enemies, and this kind of felt like for season 3 we kind of didn't see that the bloodthirsty side of Polly as much until like this scene, I think. At least for me personally, like it's mostly her
you're right,
reacting
like-
to Earth and fixing Frobo, and then here she just like takes out her like list of enemies and mentions she wants to take them all out and take over the world.
I think I really like that, honestly. That whole
It was really funny.
yeah.
I just love the fact that, like, Spring and Hop Hop weren't giving him anything he wanted, and then as soon as he gets to Polly, she's just like, "Oh yeah, I want to defeat all my enemies and take over the world." Like, that was great.
Oh, that was so
perfect.
great.
It was such a Polly thing to say. Like, that was so good. But like, yeah, she mentions like so many past antagonists, like Tritonio, Gary, like
She mentions
like,
Barry too.
yeah, Barry.
Oh, wait, I think
I think she said like
Duckweed was the first one.
Duckweed. Yeah.
I'm surprised Andreas wasn't up on that list. Like we're killing Frobo, right? Like I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Shoot, maybe he's like all the way down there. I don't know.
There's like so many people on that. Like, just take on like reading classes. You know, like how many people are on that list? Polly, damn.
I think was it in like chronological order? Like maybe that's why she didn't say Andrus, because I know she said Barry and then Tritonio, and I know that was like kind of an. I don't know. It's not important. I'll probably like watch it later and check, but
I think she says some random names I don't remember hearing about at all. So like I think that was just for the joke itself. But yeah, it's still weird that Andrews isn't mentioned. I feel like she would have been number one on her list, right? Like she's gotta be. At least now, for sure. Like after this episode, yeah, has to be number one. So yeah.
oh, at least I like how when she's like mentioning the names, it like it goes in the same like it syncs up with the music as well. That was just like a nice touch.
Oh,
And then Frobo like vomits on Mr. X.
Yep, the epitome of his
Again.
existence.
I
Those
love
who
that. I love that.
This bar for some people. I can't.
Like, jeez. Oh yeah, then the guy shows up with the syringe. He's like, "Okay, you're definitely on the list." Yeah.
Yeah, and then it cuts back to Ange. They've assembled, like, she is explaining like the whole story. I guess like the planner's like true identity to like all these like season 3 supporting characters, and like everyone is here. You have like Allie and Jess, Terri, Dr. Frakes. We also had some like ants from the Thai temple, and Molly, Joe, and Humphrey.
Yeah, Molly. God dang it, man. I know Robert Otto's in jail, but come on. It was the one time. I was like, as soon as I saw Molly Joe, I was like, come on. They could have, man.
Yeah, they could have. I don't know. Like they could have said like he was on bail, or he had like
Something.
yeah, he had like those collars that track you or whatever. Those ankle collars or whatever, and then Ali and Jessica just like disable it for him. Like it would have been so nice to have Otto, because like I mean technically Otto would be like the most like, I guess in terms of like fighting or physicality, he would be like the best member of the team. But
they just shoot lasers all over the place. Like, God dang it, man.
Yeah, Robert, he was just too competent for the episode.
I mean, I would call him competent.
OP.
He was kind of like deranged by the time when Frogman showed up.
No, that loses the respect of the town for one day. Then he tries to kill an 11-year-old kid. Like
Molly Joe's fine, I guess, but come on.
It was worth it. It was worth it for her to have that one little joke where she's like, "Oh, wait, Frogman's a frog? Oh, yeah, makes sense." It was all worth that one joke right there. It was all worth it.
I mean, yeah, like Molly Joe's fine, but like the real dynamic we actually cared about was like Sprig and Doctor and Robert Otto. Like that's where like the real connection was. Like Allie and Jess with Polly, Humphrey with Hop Pop, Sprig, Otto. Like not Molly Joe. Like
let's just be happy they didn't bring Ned back. It's like if they brought Ned back, imagine they brought Ned back.
Okay, yeah, it's better than Molly Joe's better than Ned at least.
Yes, agree.
I mean, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was nice to have them all back, and oh man, those Thai ants, like they were all so brutal. With like mentioning like they like frogs too with garlic.
Like, yeah, like
I'm so glad that someone made that joke.
I love it.
Yeah, so they have a whole heist planned out with Humphrey disguised, the Thai ants. They get access via Ali and Jess hacking into the FBI system and getting them clearance, and then eventually when those two and Humphrey get in, they bring everyone else, and they're all wearing like matching rental suits, which is I
mean, I guess it worked. They look nice. I mean, I'll give them that.
I mean, I understand for like I guess for the Thai ants, because they were the ones like getting in, but you know everyone else is just aesthetics, which is fine.
I think
Legit.
yeah. I think one thing I do like is that I do like legitimately that we bring all the Earth characters back in the first place. It was really cool. Just in general, like having all these episodes just combined together, kind of giving us our whole team. I do wish it lasted longer. I feel like we didn't get enough time with it, but I mean, what we got was nice as it is. Getting a whole heist plot, and it felt like different enough from the other heist plots we've had too, that I didn't feel like it was repetitive. I don't know. I liked bringing all the Earth characters back, and I think what they did with Humphrey too was really cool as well. The IT gals are kind of weird because they're in the car and then they come back into the facility, and I don't know why. I didn't get that. I wasn't sure why they did that, but I don't know. It was neat to kind of have them all there, even though I thought no, I'll save those thoughts when we get further into the episode.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Yeah, so they all infiltrate the base. Terri and Dr. Jan go off to get the generator. And then Anne and everyone else kind of gets tricked by the specimen room, and it's nice how the decoy that the Boon Choys used in Mr. X's debut episode, here it's kind of used as the bait for them. And again, it's nice to know, we saw it back in Hollywood Hop Pop that Mr. X at least looks after these frogs. But yeah, I just like how it was a nice
yeah, we have.
It was a nice reversal, them falling for the same trick as he did.
Oh, I didn't even think that it was like that.
Damn, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, so credit to Sunsphere for bringing that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
Oh, that's a good catch.
Damn. Yeah, that's
a
role
reversal.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really great once that was pointed out to me.
Yeah, that's a really good way to show that Mr. X is on top of his game, right? That he's not playing around anymore. Damn. That's wow.
Yeah, and then everyone gets tossed into a cell. And yeah, at this point Mr. X is kind of just gloating over his win, and kind of puts Anne down with her with how she's just a kid, and he does it a few times throughout the episode, and that kind of demoralizes Anne. And we all know she's she shouldn't think of it she shouldn't think of herself like this, and everyone rightfully points that out, especially her parents, and we get that really nice talk between them and Anne, and them talking about everything she's done, even on Earth, Amphibia and on Earth, what she's accomplished, and it's a nice little moment.
Yeah, and I think so. Okay, so I've said previously that Mr. X, I think, gets really boosted a lot from this episode in general, and we didn't before. Mr. X didn't even know who Anne was. It was so weird. I didn't really understand his relationship with Anne at all. I understood what Cloakbot represented, but I wrote the whole thing about it. Cloakbot represents Anne's responsibility gone wrong in some way. It's not gonna go a full thing into it, but I understood their relationship as an antagonist to Anne. It made a lot of sense. But Mr. X, I didn't understand. I was okay, he chases the planters and that's it. I didn't get it. But I like what they did with it here, where I'm not even sure how to describe it. Because Cloakbot's, he doesn't have any personality, but Mr. X just gets to chastise and talk down to Anne, calling her some kid. And it's not the kid part exactly that gets me. It's more so that Anne always thought she had it down with dealing with all these responsibilities and stuff all the time. But yeah, in this episode, she just straight up keeps losing. The planters get caught instantly. She tries to save them, gets caught instantly. Every single time she gets like one win, she just instantly loses. And I don't know. I just really like that Mr. X can sort of just talk down to Anne like that. I think like we haven't really seen like I don't know. I just thought it was neat. I wish I had more to say. Maybe my mind wasn't scrambled today, but I don't know. I just thought that was neat that we get to see that. See a villain kind of punch Anne in the heart. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like her thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just thought that was neat.
Yeah, and
Yeah, no,
I do think that
That's
it's
really-
not. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
all right. I mean, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I totally agree there because it's like I wasn't completely sold on Mr. X as a villain in his first 2 episodes of 3A, but like this one, I really liked how they used them because this is supposed to be like the penultimate episode for Anne's development here, and like Mr. X is just denying that. It's like he's denying the existence of the last 9 episodes that build up to Anne to this point. Like he's just trying to belittle her, break her down, make her think that she's incapable of handling all these big tasks. And yeah, like now that is because before I seriously I was like kind of sleeping on Mr. X as a villain here, but now yeah, this is great. Plus, have we really gotten any other scenes of like of an amphibian villain like breaking down Anne like this? I don't think so, right?
Well,
Like,
I mean,
Especially
one.
you could nah.
okay, I guess. Well, are you gonna mention that Andrew's dropping out a window or like?
Yeah,
or,
I think with
like, which one are you thinking of?
I'm thinking
No, that
either
was what
like
I was not thinking of.
Oh, that was.
I was thinking I was thinking like reunion
ahead.
with Sasha and then like True
Yeah.
Colors with Andrews. I think what's interesting about I guess because like season 3 is about Anne being responsible, and then I do think it's interesting how the human antagonist going up against Anne is kind of as Anne is like getting more responsible, she's facing off against an antagonist who's kind of more childish, a little bit more like flamboyant, but still like in a position of power that's like kind of like holding her down. And I don't know, I guess just because like yeah, Mr. X is kind of like goofy, and then like him just like I know he's failed in the past, but like in this episode, he kind of very effortlessly takes everyone down. And then that just hurts Anne's like self-esteem or her confidence in accomplishing like everything
Yeah.
else after this.
Yeah, and I think with it too is that like Anne has already like had trouble dealing with these like responsibilities of her, right? With Cloakbot, it was more so like not only taking care of the planters, it was more so like trying to keep like the life from her parents and stuff, and of course stay alive because Cloakbot's only going after her. It is cool that Mr. X is kind of the reverse. Cloakbot chases after Anne, but now Mr. X is chasing after the planters, even though they're kind of in the same family. They're going for different things. So I liked that. I think like I don't know where I was going with that.
That was a
I
nice
didn't realize
connection
it either.
though.
I didn't even realize that either. Jesus, wow.
Yeah, I was.
Nice reverse.
I don't know. I was trying to like write like a whole thing with Mr. X and in Cloakbot and all the villains for the show, and it was just like now that we have this episode, okay, I get it. I see what they were going for in Mr. X now, and I like him a lot more. I kind of want to see him not more. I don't know. Maybe I want to see him more, but like we got Andreas and Darcy, so it's like
Yeah.
we get them. Let's get to the big stuff now.
Yeah,
You know?
we got the 2 best villains on the show right now.
Yeah, like that's gonna be hype. That's gonna be a whole thing. Oh my god. But yeah,
Oh,
Mr.
it
X
is.
was good. Was good in this episode. And I like just him punching at Anne's heart.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that was great.
Absolutely, yeah. And then of course like we get that talk between the Anne and the planners. That was great. And then of course we get like the little joke with like Mr. Boonshoy pointing at Anne's heart and at Anne's heart, and of course like Sprig did that earlier, and then we see that occur again later on in the segment. That's just a nice moment.
Yeah. And And I think with that too, like, I love that, like, Anne has a supportive family no matter what dimension she's at. I
Yeah.
love that. Like,
Yeah.
no matter Amphibia, no matter Earth, she's always got people who got her back, no matter what. I love that scene, man. Like, because I think what's cool here is that, like, what's the word? I love that, like, the Boon Choys in general are awesome because they're one of the few people in Anne's life that accept her for, like, who she wants to be and for her best self, right? Because all the other people she's reunited with in her past wanted to, like, keep her back to where she was. Sasha, especially, right? That's their whole thing in Reunion. Marcy's a little different, but still kind of does the same thing if you think about it, just in a different style. And I think, like, the great thing about the Boon Choys, they accept her for kind of who she is. And at first they're reluctant, right? Naturally, because they knew Anne for being the irresponsible kid who's not going to, he can't take care of a whole family. That's crazy. But, like, they actually give her a shot. And even when, like, there's some stumbles or some falls, they still, like, in Anne's Terminator where they figure out the truth. I don't know. It was just really awesome to have that. Their relationship kind of mended throughout all these 9 episodes. And it kind of leads to that culmination of this. Where, like, Anne needs a little help. Yeah, she's a kid, She can't handle all this stuff on her own. And that's okay. That's cool. Like, I don't know. The Boon Choys are awesome. That one scene was just so good for them. And I think it's just such a great culmination of Anne's relationship with them just building to that point where Anne's mom can just straight up say, like, you're not that little girl anymore. You got this. Before Anne's Terminator, she was so scared. She was going back to her old ways, being irresponsible. But no, she believes in her. I love that. That whole scene was so cute. It's great. It's one of the best, probably in the season for me. I really like that scene. It was great.
Thank you, Impact. You said
that
pretty
was,
well.
Yeah, you nailed it. I don't even know what to say. You nailed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then after that talk, the power goes out, and of course, like, Terri and Dr. Jan are, like, chanting as they pull the generator away.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing all these like cells, like, I mean, that kind
They
of
had electrical locks,
Yeah,
according to
Jess or Allie, and it's a little impractical, but it's convenient for us in this scenario, and everyone's about to go out.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
I guess it kind of makes sense. Like, if there's an emergency, like if the building is on fire, do you want them trapped in the cells, or do you want them to be evacuated?
Well, that's in a civilized institution. Yes.
Oh, that's right. This is the FBI.
Yeah, so they're about to, like, they take out the 2 guards in the room, and they all could have gone out, but Anne decides to clear the hallway herself, and that's when we get
she has to solo them. Yes!
That's when we get
it.
Best scene in the episode.
Amazing, dude. Oh,
best scene in the episode.
Yeah, we get
they didn't have
Anne's,
to do that, but they did.
Yeah, we get Anne's hallway fight, and this was like seeing this, like, Rogue One reference, like, made me realize that, like, that movie came out 6 years ago, which, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Why
That's
you make me think about that? I'm feeling old.
Yeah, I'm feeling old too. Like,
6 years ago. That is mind blowing.
Yeah,
Wow.
they even play, like, the same, like, similar, like, music of, and then Anne just, like, is just taking down the guards, and I wish they didn't do, like, the cut in the dark, but I know what they were, like, trying to, like, imply with that, but I like how Mr. Buchoy, like, mentioned, like, he says, like, right when Anne goes out, oh, I hope she doesn't kill anyone, but
Oh, that was pretty funny.
and then even Mrs. Boonchoy, like, being like, unimpressed that he bought the lightsaber, and then that one guy at the end, like, just like begging to be let out. And it's like, what did you say? Oh, dude, it's just a pull door.
Yeah,
That was really
says
funny.
pull, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, even her face
That
at the
was
end, like
great.
she's like, where
Yeah.
they're showing her through the window.
Had a grown man running away from a 13-year-old girl.
I will say the animation for that was pretty great. That whole
Yeah,
fight.
yeah. They were
It
really
wasn't
good.
like the best animation Amphibia's ever had, but it's honestly probably one of the better straight up sword fights Amphibia's had.
Yeah.
They had so
Which-
much fun.
Does strike me, Anne doesn't really get to have very many straight up sword fights these days. It's really mostly against giant monsters or robots.
Or Sasha.
Or Sasha. That's the only other person she's really well, and Tritonio.
Oh yeah. Because
But
she
that was
can't really have a sword fight with Andreas. I don't know how that would work.
no.
Well,
he's too big.
yeah, exactly. It wouldn't even be a sword fight.
Yeah, and I know the FBI agents, they had like taser taser batons. I wish they, at least if they put up a little bit more of a fight, we could see more like 1v1.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little bit more back and forth. Like if there's one really, really good FBI agent who's really good with the stun baton.
Oh, it's like once you take out like all of, like the goons, then you have like the upper ranking
Yeah.
goon at the end.
Yeah, there's like the better goon.
The mini boss.
Yeah, so then
The goon with like a health bar on screen.
I mean, I feel like Amphibia, if they really wanted to, they'd find a way to make that like clear somehow. Like maybe in a hallway they would have like the lights represent someone's health, and I don't know. I could see Amphibia like trying to do that if they wanted. Yeah, so they clear the room. Eventually, like Anne crawls down through a vent to free the planners, and they get a ride from Dr. Jan and Terri in the FBI van with the generator on it. And then it's nice to see the planners reunite with some of their some of the human supporting characters they've become friends with in this past season, which is really nice. And
Absolutely.
yeah, it was cute to see like Polly hug Allie and Jess, and Humphrey like coming back because like those actors gotta stick together. I think he said that in Hollywood Hop Hop too, which is nice. But if Robert Otto was there,
Yeah.
then we could have had a bunch.
Oh yeah, I know.
What could have
It's alright,
been?
we might still get Robert Otto in the finale.
In the invasion, man, come on!
Like
I think an important part of like this whole sequence is that it is really, both for Anne and her parents and for just the Earthies in general, the big goodbye, because they don't really have a chance to say goodbye at the end of the episode. So this is where the goodbyes happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like we might be able to see them together again in some kind of finale situation, but after that, yeah, I get what you mean by that. It's just funny how like I've been thinking more about Robert Otto than Sasha and Marcy's parents. Ayo.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay, we can talk about that later. Sorry for bringing that up.
Yeah!
I know.
It's gonna be a whole thing at the end of this.
forgot about that. I honestly
Just,
forgot about it.
all right.
Now I'm gonna talk about it.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So yeah, Dr. Jan just she decides to like break down she reverses and breaks down the other like another part of the wall just cuz. And
Yeah.
and then we get that hilarious like gate joke where they like bring out they bring down the gate to stop the truck and of course that doesn't
That was
stop them at
hilarious.
all.
Yeah,
That
the
was
whole
so
time.
funny.
Whole time I'm like, that doesn't work. Why are they trying to? And then they crash through it.
Just love
I
the
love
thumbs
that.
up Mr. X and like the security guard give to each other. Oh man.
Yeah, that confidence that they had. Oh my. It just
They
makes
really
it just
thought that would work.
yeah, it just makes the joke funnier too. Yeah, so we get a little chase with the FBI and the planners. Sorry, not the planners. What should I call this? Like Team Anne starts like throwing junk at the trucks, and like two of
Just
them.
stuff.
Yeah, just stuff. And do we get an explosion in the background? That's what I'm gonna check.
We do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
One of the trucks
No, their kill
explodes.
count, their kill count, their kill count jumped the faster. 2 trucks.
Those
They
men
made
are
it so
dead.
no.
And killed
Two-
people, yo. Like
They
it's not
killed
even.
multiple people. Like,
Yo.
hey,
Oh
like
my god.
like Mr. X said, they had airbags, so they're fine.
Nah.
Yeah, they're bad.
Get
They're
out of
fine.
here.
They're dead.
Get out of here.
They killed 2 truckloads
Anne's a
of
murderer,
people.
yo. Don't...
Damn.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I mean, at least Mr. X like he wanted like super futuristic vehicles, so maybe they are. Yeah, they're dead.
They're gone. Oh, the kill count keeps rising. Damn.
Yeah, then eventually, like Mr. X tries going on top of the roof of like the car with Jenny driving, but then he gets like I think honey thrown at him, and he just gets taken out. But then, no, but not
It's
before.
something else. I think it's like Kabuka, something like that. It's something that's mentioned at the beginning of the episode. I don't know. Kabuka something.
Oh, I think someone posted in the chat. It was like some kind of like fermented thing for
Kombucha.
Kabucha. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mentioned like Mr. X once at the beginning of the episode, and then Spray tosses the atom at the end. That was great. That was a nice.
That was funny.
Bring that back. Yeah, they didn't have to, but they did. It was great.
Yeah, it's just like a fermented tea type thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never heard of that before.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I didn't know
I've
what it
had
was.
some of that before. Like
It's very popular in America. Like it's the big health drink at the moment.
Well, I didn't know.
So RuPaul drinking kombucha tracks.
Okay.
yeah, so but then like the planner Team Anne escapes, but of course, unfortunately, like Mr. X actually put a tracker on them. So we get to we cut back to the I guess the storage area that the portal's being set up in, and everyone's like everyone's setting up the portal. Anne's got her armor on again. That's I'm so happy. I knew like I knew the armor was coming back, but I was still desperate for it. But it was just so she's in her uniform again though, but
Yeah.
and they don't mention why.
Yeah, it's
all right.
I was
my reason, like my explanation for it internally, is that she knows her outfit is gonna get dirty and gross, so she figured she might as well wear the one that already got dirty and gross.
She probably cleaned in the laundry though, right? Like,
Right.
She didn't leave that in the closet all gross and buggy.
But she still knows that she's not going to bring her nice new clothes back. It's like when you put on a work shirt. Like,
Yeah.
you wash your work shirt, but
It's still your work
that's
shirt.
still the shirt you use when you're crawling under cars or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, plus I think the one thing to remember is that like is what you said in Bessie Michelangelo, because I think like to Anne it doesn't really matter what she puts on as long as as long as she can see like herself, right? Like as long as she can see like the same proud look she always has and stuff. Blah 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 blah.
That's true. Okay. I still think it would have been cool to have the
I would have
season
liked.
creature with the armor.
Yeah,
But
that would have been fun.
It was weird.
That being said, like just from a pure visual design aspect, I don't think her armor would have looked good with her new shirt.
Probably not. I mean, I don't know, because I've seen like fan art of the armor with the shirt, and I always thought it looked fine. Like, I don't know. It's that weird thing where like I don't know, because you're gonna question it, right? Like she has the school uniform on, but she's been wearing all this other different stuff for a long time. It's like I don't know. It's more jarring. It's not like a big deal. Like not really. Like it doesn't really matter. But I don't know. I'm gonna notice it either way.
But I mean, okay, this might be a hot take for me. Like, I've never been that in love with the armor because it feels kind of awkward. It's like it's just a chest plate.
Boo.
Where's the rest of it? Where's the rest of it?
Boo.
I guess it's fine.
Okay. Well.
Boo bad. Boo.
No. Okay. Let's hear Nick out. Let's hear him out.
So like my reaction to this is pretty mild. Like, what I know I was like I know I kept on like mentioning how I wanted like a better send off for like the school uniform, but I don't know if I wanted it back. Like I don't think I wanted it back. I was fine with it being like a one and done thing at that point, but I don't know. I feel like I probably have the most mild reaction to her putting on that uniform back in that fan. Because I don't know what to say like about any of this right now. Like it would be really cool to have her bring a different outfit, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to say.
I think, like personally, just design wise, I think I prefer her school uniform more because I at least with the skirt and the chest plate, it looks more like a more of a warrior thing. Because like at least with shorts and a chest plate, and a chest plate, and not chest plate, sorry, chest plate, and I think it looks more like it looks less childish in a way.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like it's sort of battle armor.
I can see that. I don't know, because I feel like I guess I was just expecting that. Maybe, honest to God, I think it was because I saw a bunch of fan art with her with the season 3 getup and the armor, and it's like I just kind of thought that would be the natural thing. You know what I mean? So like her getting the school outfit was like, huh, okay, that's a little odd, but all right. She has the 2 shoes. I mean, that's a plus, I guess.
She's gonna lose one of them. She's gonna lose one of them. Like it's not gonna last long.
Immediately.
You brought another pair, so I mean,
you'll lose those two.
She's gonna lose them. There's no. She's gonna be walking around a bunch of.
Man, I hope that doesn't happen.
No, she loses. I'm telling you, she loses all of her shoes, and then she finds the shoe that she lost the first time. That's what's gonna happen.
Please, I don't want that to happen.
I'm telling you, it's what I would do.
We can't avoid it.
Like, we know that Matt's a troll. It is totally what I would do. It would be so funny.
But, like, I know that she would be on the other foot, and then, like, wouldn't that just confuse, the animators? After spending, like, 2 seasons with, like, I don't know, the left shoe, and then, like, they have to do the right one now.
It would be worth it. It would be worth it just for the memes.
I guess so. And then Yeah, so like the planners say goodbye to the parents, and even Anne says goodbye to her and to her parents, and they try powering up the portal, and it even with this new generator, it doesn't work. Like it still it does work. It doesn't open. The size of that portal doesn't change again, and that's before they can kind of like react to it or have a proper reaction to that. The FBI like once again jumps in, like they bust in and surround them, and just when like Mr. X kind of like tries to put Anne down again, she kind of like just brushes him off and goes Super Anne again, and that was like this whole like sequence was really good. Like
absolutely.
Yeah, this is fantastic. This is the entire sequence, especially Mr. X's reaction to Anne going all Super Saiyan, was just fantastic.
yeah, especially with the music in this scene.
Ooh, yeah.
God,
Yeah. Also, I just want to say something about the word "kid" here in this episode because, like, I mean, I'm sure we all noticed it, right? Like, it was brought up a bunch of times, and like when I saw it the second time, I was surprised to see that like it originally came from Jan, right? Like Dr. Jan, right? And like, yeah, it just made me realize it's just the word "kid" here. It had its own journey with Anne, as we went through the episode. Like, I feel like at first it surprised Anne. It kind of like because yeah, I think at the start of the episode, right, she feels like she's at the top of her game. She can do anything now, and when like Dr. Jan sort of like asserts the idea that she's just a kid, right? Like that sort of throws her off. And then when Mr. X brings it up, that breaks her. And then like here, no, like she's like, yeah, you're right, and she wears it as like a badge of honor. So I thought that was really cool.
that was cool.
And yeah, that moment where the music hits, and we know when they first tried opening when they first opened up that portal, you hear all like the music is very there's a lot of synth to it, and then when Anne powers up, like we know her connection to the box to the gem, and how that actually like powers up the portal, and I like how the music like reflects out with the choir, and yeah, like someone mentioned earlier, how like Mr. X like we get to see someone else react to like Anne's powers. Except this time, like Anne is pretty much in complete not actually yeah complete control with the way she like they don't spell out what she's doing to like stabilize the portal and like to make it actually like big enough to travel through. But like Anne I'm guessing like Anne instinctively like knew what to do and just like
Yeah, because
yeah just
Yeah.
like the confident like
Yeah.
the confidence she had doing it that was really nice.
Just really
and
good moments overall. Like I just love that shot of her charging up. Like that just looks so cool.
Yeah, and I think for me, I think this is one of the best ways they've implemented the powers like this season. I don't know if this is like my opinion. I think New Normal kind of had the power show up, and it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just kind of it happened, and it looked cool. And Terminator, I felt like it kind of. I didn't feel like she had control of her powers at that point enough to actually do what she did. So it felt a little weird to me. But like it wasn't like a terrible thing. It was just like I didn't feel like they deserved to get to that point after New Normal, in my opinion. But I think here, like, I was not bothered by by the powers at all. I loved it. The whole sequence is badass. Like,
Yeah. And it really does feel like Anne's getting more control of her powers.
Yeah, and I think like I never felt like a single time like what? Why did she pull that out? Or like, okay, I guess. It felt like, oh yeah, definitely, this is the right time to use it. Like, and I think it that kind of told me, okay, so I don't know. I like the blue powers here a lot. I love the charge up sequence when she powered up the portal. That looked so cool. The power aura and everything. That was the stomp was awesome. Like it wasn't even like a big thing because I didn't really know how they would use the blue powers like on the human characters because like Ant could punch them one time and it's like
Yeah, she could punch a whole
you're dead.
yeah. But they did it in a smart way where they would just like, okay, just shockwave, boom, stun them for a bit. I like that. That was smart. And it gets multiple people at once too. It's not just Mr. X or anything. So that was smart. I like them using creative ways of bringing the powers. It's not just she goes blue and that's it. No, she's like doing something different with them each time. So I hope they keep it up with that. Like when we get like fights with Andreas and stuff and the other robots, that it's not just and goes Super Saiyan and goes pop 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 and kills them. It's some like creative way to use the powers. And I think using it to power the portal, which I knew something like that was gonna happen. I don't know why. I just had that vibe that her blue powers are gonna be a big thing in getting that portal back.
Yeah, I think
But,
that
like,
was. Yeah, a lot of us kind of like had that same feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like, I doubt. Yeah, because it's like, Amphibia would have made it too easy. Right? Like they would have just let this random 20-something-year-old girl like somehow figure out how to make an actual portal without at least some magical shenanigans getting in. You know.
Yeah.
So,
And
I thought it was nice work out.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like a cop out. It feels like that makes sense. Like even when like the entire Earth crew is like, oh my god, that was crazy. Like you kind of connect into your head what's going on. The characters kind of say it, and it's like that's awesome. So the blue powers, I'm really excited. Like because I think they've done a good job with them, really in this episode specifically. And the other ones, I gotta think about it. Like I think it works with this scene, so maybe I'll look at those parts a little better. But I think this was definitely the best sequence besides True Colors. But you know, nothing's gonna top that until like I don't know 3B or something. So yeah, this was great.
I think. Yeah, these past appearances of Anne's powers were mostly a lot. They're a lot more like smaller scale, but at least even if Anne had like a tough time like staying conscious after using them, uh, they're at least a little bit more controlled. But like in the case of True Colors, I was just like completely like fully like
Go ham.
yeah, that was just raw power. And then I think
Yeah.
there was an element in True Colors with like her leaves and the twigs in her hair growing around. I think that's going to come into play in a future use of her powers that she hasn't figured out yet.
Yeah, I think like
same.
yeah, and I think like with Amphibia being all like screwed over by Andreas, I don't know. There might be something to that.
Yeah, that's what I was
Laying
thinking.
the land, I guess. Yeah. So that would be neat.
And I guess we covered Anne's powers. We can get into the unfortunate I guess the tragedy of Hop Pop's like potential avocado business.
Yeah.
Like I wish he brought more than one avocado to Amphibia, but
yeah.
Wait, why did you only bring one? Come on.
Yeah, that's like we saw him buy all that avocado related products. Like you'd think you'd bring at least like a bag of avocados, but
Yeah, like
just the one.
They didn't lose their stuff, right? They still have all the food and stuff. So it's weird. I don't know why he just bought the one. I thought maybe like I don't know. It just seemed I don't know. They definitely have all the food that they kept. So
oh wait,
it seemed a little
like Lemur said, the
Pop
boxes
Pop's
they
a
threw.
dummy.
They probably threw everything
really?
away.
Oh,
yeah,
that makes more
probably.
sense. That's a
During the
Wait.
No.
Actually, wait, hold on. They bought. No, because didn't they leave everything at the? They had everything in the car when they got taken to the FBI office. Like when they got taken by the FBI, the planners chased after them in their car, but then nothing happened to their car during that chase. And then the heist happens.
Right, but remember, they went right from the heist. They went right from the breakout to the portal, so they didn't have time to get all avocados out of the car.
Wait, did they leave the car? Like, okay, they drove out with the FBI car, right? But they came in with the Boonshoy car.
No,
The
but
Boonshoy car is still there? Like, still at the FBI place? That I just thought of.
No. I mean, they probably drove their car back home.
Wait, so did they go? So
wait, no, because like
I don't understand what the confusion is. The Boonshoys found the FBI compound, drove home, got their team.
no, but
the
Ali and
people to
Jess,
break out.
Ali and Jess were
Ali
in the
and
same
Jess-
position later on.
I
So
like how we're trying to figure this all out. Like, my theory is Hop-Pop's an idiot. He should have brought more avocado.
You should have brought more avocados.
Hop-Pop was just being a dumbass.
yeah. So anyways, like Anne, yeah, they used the avocado to bring, to lure the mantis in, and oh yeah, and also Anne like was able to use her powers to like cut the avocado.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was funny, but like, I don't know, that was cool.
And then
I don't know. It was...
when the FBI all charge at the mantis, it kind of like is it like not a trope? Is it like a common animation thing where you have all the cops like all go after one like person and just like it looks like a big skirmish kind of with like all of them together, like they're all like grouped together against one thing with the batons. Like I feel like I've seen this in like in one of the Lupin films.
I mean, it's not that uncommon. I guess I'd have to like look to see exactly what you're talking about.
Like I have a screenshot here. It's like you know when they have like for comedic effect they have everyone pile on one person
Yeah.
and then they all have the batons and stuff. Like I feel like that's like a yeah, I think it's a common thing.
Yeah. It's like relatively common. I mean, also it's just a giant monster, so like they all do need to pile on top.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But-
I just thought like that looked familiar or something.
Yeah. I can't quite place it, but yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah, so while they're
There's
distracted.
actually...
Oh, go ahead, Impact.
Oh, I was actually just gonna say there's actually something. I'll mention it after they get into the portal because there's something really cool about the way they beat the mantis thing. I'll mention that when we.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'll
Yeah, I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, so the planners they use the distraction to go into the portal and then Anne does that little like goodbye to her parents with the pointing to the heart sign.
Yeah,
nice.
that was cute.
Yeah, and then eventually, yeah, Impact. We see them take down. We see the FBI or Mr. X. Actually, yeah, I think just some other FBI agents take down the Mantis.
Yeah, and it's the same way they do it. Like they tie the mantis up the same way they do it. Like in the first episode, like it's the exact same way. They get the legs first and then the body. I don't know. That was so cool. Like that definitely was a reference to the first episode. I don't know if you guys got that too. If that's the same thing we were thinking, but like I don't know. That was just really cool that they kind of brought that back. Of just taking out the mantis the same exact way. Obviously, they used the guns instead of like the trap or whatever. But I don't know. It was cool that they kind of beat it the same exact way. So I thought that was neat.
Yeah,
That's all.
That was a nice little touch.
Yeah, because like Matt has said that we're gonna get a lot of season 1 elements in 3B. So maybe that was one of those nods, those winking nods to it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I guess that's pretty much all of the I think we can talk about the final scene then.
I
We've talked about it a
guess-
couple times, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, I guess the only thing I would have to say before we get to the final scene is like, I feel like the Mr. X scene with the Boon Choice kind of sounds like they're setting them. Obviously, they're setting them up for the finale, but like, I don't know. It kind of the way it was like put out. It feels like they're like setting them up for something else in the future for 3B besides just the
Yeah.
invasion.
well,
So
I mean,
that definitely seems like something.
I think they're setting them up so that Earth is kind of ready for the invasion when it happens.
Yeah, because like Mr. X didn't really get what he wanted out of the planters, and clearly like they weren't there to like kill anybody. So
Yeah.
so I have a feeling we're gonna be getting more FBI. deals with the
I thought
invasion.
that they were going to have to like break the Boon Choice out of prison, but now I think it's possible at least that the Boon Choice are going to be working with like the FBI to prep for Andreas's invasion. Maybe I don't know where they're going with it.
Yeah, it's weird because the way we've seen 3B's episodes so far, from the titles and stuff, the only episode I can think that like, we would never cut back to Earth is like Fight or Flight, and that's it. I can't think of
Well,
like,
I mean,
unless-
there's all in the beginning of the end.
that's true.
I can see a couple places, and then the hardest thing, I can see a couple places towards the end where they could cut back to Earth pretty easily.
That's true. That's true. And they don't have to do a lot with the Boon Choice and Mr. X. Like, it's not like Andreas in like 3A where they have to like we have to see him doing his plan or whatever
Yeah.
and whatnot. We don't have to do any of that. So that's pretty
Yeah.
much it. They're definitely setting up the Earth characters to do something bigger in the finale. Don't know exactly what, but it'll probably be hype. So
Yeah, I'm just not sure where they're going with it, which is interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see something like blossoming out of this. It's like literally, like their last scene in the show is them immediately shutting up Mr. X and saying they have something that they want to tell him, right? And like,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that could be it. Maybe there could be like a whole explanation of how wrong he
Yeah.
is for trying to go after the planters and stuff. So yeah, I can
Well, I
see
mean,
it.
yeah, like that's what we were. Yeah.
Mhm.
It will be interesting to see how the other parents play into that situation too.
Oh, that's all right. That's
But yeah,
I
we're
don't. Can we
getting.
talk about that? No.
Well,
Whoa,
Can we talk
we'll
about that
let
now,
Thumb
Thumb?
decide.
Or should we
We'll
wait?
let Thumb decide.
Thumb?
Yeah.
Because
Uh,
that's a.
I mean, I think that could relate more to 3. Like that's more about 3A overall.
well, no, we're talking
I'm
about
just-
the parents showing up in 3B. But yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, but that's just us. Like,
uh,
I know you mentioned maybe
Oh.
the parents can show up in 3B, and is there anything else we need to add on to that? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just thinking. I don't know. I was just gonna say like. I'm gonna say it. We've like haven't really had a ton of setup for the parents, besides maybe the letters, and even then, it didn't seem like it told us they were gonna show up. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like they won't happen at all. I just
Oh,
I don't feel
that would
it. I
be
don't.
surprising to me, to be honest.
Yeah, it was surprising we didn't get them in 3A.
I don't know. That wasn't. I don't know. I mean, that wasn't that surprising to me. I don't
I mean,
see why
I don't
Anne would. I don't see why Anne. I never understood why people thought Anne would like seek out the Waybrights and the Woos. Like, what is
See-
she gonna say? Was she like, oh yeah, hi, I'm back. Your daughters aren't. Marcy got stabbed. I don't know where Sasha is. Probably in jail. Like, why would Anne seek that out? Why would Anne seek that out? I don't get that.
All right. Okay. So I don't even think it's about seeking them out. I feel like it's okay. So when we get back to Earth, right? I feel like, and we've had like the girls the whole time in 2B. I think the natural thing, a lot of people, including me, at least like mention them at the beginning or something. I don't mind them not going to them directly. That's fine. Like, okay. If they want to deal with it in 3B, like the parents deal with them, sure. But like they haven't had any setup besides those letters. I don't know. I honest to God don't feel like they're gonna happen. I've lost hope. I don't know.
Well, I mean, what
That's
kind
just
of
me.
setup? What kind of setup would you require for them to be in 3B in a way that would be
I don't
satisfying?
know. I feel like that's hard. I feel like I don't know.
I kind of
I don't
lost.
know. I
Like,
feel like
I'm just like curious. Like, if the letters aren't enough, what would be enough for the setup in
I
3B?
I think
I
people
don't
are
know.
just
I
looking
feel
for a. They're looking for a reaction from the parents for something, for anything. And personally, like, I understand, but I'm not
okay.
too concerned about it. But I get it. I get I get the I get the desire for it.
I don't know. I felt like it was one of those things where like, okay, the reason why I don't feel like the letters were like set up is they kind of feel like we mention them and then we don't really, I don't know. It feels so weird to me, just the parents as a whole. I really wish I had a better like thing about this. I wrote about it too and everything. It was a lot better than the way I'm saying it. I don't
No, I
know.
mean, I
I
understand this. Yeah, I think I was expecting them to show up in this episode too because I felt like I feel like one of the things 3A was going to do was going to have like Am sort of get the process of her feelings on Sasha and Marcy more. Like that
yeah.
was really my interest with seeing those two show up at all in 3A. Like I was on hell. I was fine with them just being in one episode. So
I don't
I
know.
mean, I think we'll eventually get the
It's
we'll eventually get like what we're seeking out from 3B. But yeah, I guess it does feel weird for Froggy Little Christmas to tease them like that. It's such a good scene, and then like not follow up on them.
yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I hope they're in 3B. I think I don't know. I don't really have a lot of
It's,
opinion on it. It's
I'll
just weird.
be admit it would be the idea of them not being in 3B is just such a out there silly idea that I never even considered it.
I don't know. I guess I just lost like I think just hoping for them to at least be mentioned a bit for so long and then they're mentioned once and then we don't really talk about them at all in this episode, which I'm fine with because the whole conflict here is Anne getting away from her parents. Okay, that's fine. But I don't know. It's a very weird thing like with this whole season. And
No,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean that's totally fair. Like I just personally I never even considered that as a possibility. So yeah, no, I was just like, oh yeah, of course they will. Why wouldn't they?
yeah, I
I
mean
feel like
they'll
I
be
said
here
that about
eventually.
3A too. That was the thing. Like I feel like
I
I
mean,
said that about 3A as well for me anyway. That's what I was saying. I'm like they're going to at least like mention why they're not going there. All right. That's fine. If
Yeah,
they don't want them to show up at 3A, I'm cool with that. I'm fine. I don't know.
I just prepared
It's a whole thing.
myself to not see them at all, and then if they do show up, then I'll be like, oh, okay, that's great. But
I get the assuming that they might not show up at all because yeah, like they might not show up at all.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to imagine seeing the letters being written in 3B in not in 3B, it being seeing letters
In
written in Froggy
3A.
Little Christmas.
And then
Like seeing the letters, hearing exactly what's been written, seeing that the Waybrights get 2 letters and the Woos get 1.
yeah, that was a
And like
big.
all of that, and then
those
just thinking, but they won't show up. Like I
I'm
can't
thinking
imagine
more
that.
so I think it's more so like a thing where like with the episode titles we have, right? We're pretty much all Amphibia the whole time, it seems like. And it's one of those things where, okay, maybe we'll
Right.
see them, but they probably won't be like that important.
Well,
We'll probably get like a little cameo or something. But
maybe something in the final
We've got to
episode
combine.
where they
I
like.
mean, we've got like a combined 88 minutes for the last 2.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up. Like maybe
Air-
they're
Like there is a whole feature-length movie happening in the finale.
that's true.
Yeah,
Like
I mean they'll be here eventually.
I'd like.
I'm hoping so. I
There's
want
so
them to
much
be.
time.
I want them to be. I want them to be. That's all I'm saying. I mean, if they don't show up, okay. I mean, I'll just accept that and move on. I want them to though, but like, I'm kind of in this mindset where I'm like, okay, just don't expect it to happen, and
Yeah, if you're trying
okay.
to prep yourself for disappointment, I get that. That's fair.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of things to be excited for in this season in general, in 3B period, besides the parents anyway. So it's like, if they don't show up, okay, I'm all right with that. But like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just jaded from 3A from me personally, with thinking they're gonna show up sooner or later and then they don't, and I'm like, let me just not expect it at this point. That makes more sense.
I mean,
I
that's
don't know.
fair. That's fair. Yeah, if you were one of the people who expected them to show up in 3A, I get not wanting to make the same assumption about 3B.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say about it.
Okay.
Just wanted to point that out. That's all.
And I guess even because
Yeah, I think-
we saw how much work Anne had to do with her parents after coming back to Amphibia, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing like Marcy and Sasha would have. I mean, of course, this is Anne's show, so like their connection
not
is
gonna
very
have
like
it.
important to the show.
Yeah.
But we kind of know that Marcy and Sasha kind of have more. I guess especially Marcy has like something she needs to deal with her parents, which kind of
Yeah.
which is kind of what started Amphibia in the first place. But I mean, that could probably get resolved since Marcy's going through her own thing in the
Yeah.
back.
I mean, we'll see it. I mean, I think we'll
We'll see.
eventually get what we want from the parents. I guess just for me, like it does kind. I think in some way it does kind of put 3A in an awkward spot for me. I mean, I don't know if I've ever explained on the podcast, but I do think I've explained it where like you guys have had the chances to see it, but I figure right now, I mean, I'll eventually get what I want that I've been looking for a little while now. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of disappointed when I didn't see them on my first watch of what was it called again? Like Escape to Amphibia, but you know, I mean, there's no way they're gonna like create this amazing scene of Anne writing like letters to them and not like not follow up on that. I mean, they have to.
Yeah.
They're gonna do it.
I gotcha.
They're gonna do
Yeah.
it. It's coming. You just have to. I mean, they'll be just focus on Amphibia right now. They'll pop up. They'll pop up somewhere in Pack. Don't worry. They'll be here.
All right.
Yeah, that's why we spent like 2 hours without bringing them up, which is good.
They'll be there.
And
It's just
yeah, and I'll cover a little bit more about how I kind of managed with this after we cover the episode. But the final scene is Anne kind of like waking up on Amphibia, and she's kind of excited about it. And then we kind of like immediately when Anne gets up, you see the ash in the sky, and you know like what's happening. But it's nice to see the planners react and kind of look a little horrified
Yeah.
as to what happened to the
That-
valley while they were gone. And you see like it's really nice that they use the shot from Fort in the Road where the planners just left the valley and are looking at like everything beyond, and then coming back and you see everything is like pretty much ruined. And even
Yeah.
Utopia Castle's like not that far away. They're in Frog Valley.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
you
they're not
can
in
even
Frog
hear
Valley.
the-
sorry.
They are outside of Frog
Yeah,
Valley.
they're
but
just outside Frog Valley.
Close. They are close.
yeah, they're
I mean, you can-
dangerously close.
You can see that like a bunch of refineries have been set up. So
Yeah, and I
There.
think
Yeah.
like you can even hear like if you pay attention, like you can even hear like the thrusters of Newtopia Castle if you pay attention, like in the background the whole time. So it's very close. Like so yeah, that whole stinger is so good. I love what they've been doing with the blood moon and the Utopia Castle right in front of it. They did that with Turning Point too. It's so cool looking. It's
Oh,
such
yeah,
good
for sure.
imagery. I love that. That was such a good stinger, man. It instantly lets you know like shit's gonna go down. Like as soon as we got here, it was great. The whole thing is beautiful. Well, not actually, because Amphibia's getting destroyed. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. Damn, I mean, it's I just remember back in season 1, like Earth, like anytime we got a flashback of Earth, it looks so dull and dry and just murky. And now we just have a reversal. I mean,
Yeah.
Amphibia's lost all its beautiful colors. I mean, at least outside the valley. But damn, just look at all of it. It just looks like it's in such a horrible state. Wow.
Yeah, and you kind of
Just-
don't even know if it's what time of day it is. Either it's like sunrise or like dawn or dusk, but like all the ash in the sky kind of makes it unclear. And
Yeah, and I think it's just the shock on the planter's face. It says it all. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's such a it's just so good. It's such a good scene. I really I do kind of wish we did get it as the mid-season finale, but again, I think it works well for like being that premiere.
It
I
works
think
fine as a premiere.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell it's kind of hodgepodge to be that way in a sense, but like not the episode itself. They have to change anything, but more so like Disney kind of like, okay, this is the premiere, totally, guys, ha ha ha. But like, it's not. But like, I think it's fine, and I think like, I don't know, that stinger was just fantastic. That whole scene just sets the whole tone for the season. Earth was like this when we went to LA, right? Earth was this beautiful, awesome place. It was great when we got there, and now we go to Amphibia, and it's the exact opposite. It's the reverse of what we saw in New Normal. It's awesome. So I'm so hyped, and that's it.
Yeah,
we still had that. I wish the outro was something else.
Yeah, it was a little bit silly. Like, damn.
I mean,
Yeah.
at least
I wish we got the Olivia Unan treatment.
I guess they probably. I don't know. I think they probably don't want to overuse the different intro, especially because we're going to be getting some really serious episodes coming up.
yeah, I just
Makes you wonder if. Actually, no, you go. I was gonna talk about something.
because I like honestly I don't mind. Like I like the season 3 outro. I just wish like the season 1, like I know animation is difficult and has a process and everything, but like the season 1 outro wasn't that like difficult. It was just like the two characters doing their thing, static background, and like that was more than enough for me. And the season 3 intro is like very like there's a lot of work into it, and I'm glad we have it. Just yeah, there's just some moments where I wish it wasn't like we didn't have it here. Like we didn't have it for these kinds of episodes. Like
Yeah, it's really funny.
yeah, because like I still like I know like once the show ends, like I'm gonna the season 3 intro is probably going to become my favorite for like certain reasons involving the planners and Anne, but yeah, just it doesn't it doesn't like ruin the experience. It's just like a minor inconvenience.
It's just a bit jarring, is all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if like, do you guys think we're gonna get a new intro? I feel like we're not, but like,
Not
do you guys
not
I
think
don't
that's a possibility?
I honestly don't know.
I think we could because like I look back and like I don't know because like the 3A intro uses a lot of animation and like there's a ton of still shots. So I think like like I mean they can still reuse that one shot of Sasha standing with Wartwood if they wanted to.
I think there's a chance that we might get something very similar to the season 1 and 2 intro, but with new footage spliced in.
Yeah, that could work.
I would not be surprised if that's what we wind up getting.
Okay, because it's one of those things where like the 3A intro doesn't really make that much sense for what's going on in the show now, and they've actively been changing the intro like with things happening in the plot, right? With Marcy getting the helmet on her head, so it's like I don't know. There's definitely a possibility. I would like it. I think that'd be really cool if they did have a different intro. Yeah, I wouldn't even mind like the same theme. I think the music itself works well. But I don't know. It's a possibility.
Yeah, and I guess we covered the episode. I kind of wanted to get my thoughts out about how episode 10 was kind of delayed because Froggy Little Christmas was the Christmas special, and that was preferred by Disney to end the year off, and I wish that wasn't the case because like I've talked about it a little bit in the past with you guys. Like I see these like mid-season finales as there's like wrap up and then there's setup, and we had that with Toe Tax and Prison Break. We had that with A Sleepover to End All Sleepovers and A Day at the Aquarium. And I think in the case of season 3, it would be Froggy Little Christmas and Escape to Amphibia. And I think Escape to Amphibia definitely had that like setup for the rest of the season with the final segment and a little bit of like lore spliced here and there. But it was definitely like its main goal was wrapping up Earth, which it did well, and it did everything I wanted, and like that's about it. And that's fine. That's solid. And then Froggy Little Christmas kind of set up like Andrews's like desperation. We got a little bit of Darcy. We got a little bit of Andrews. Like we see Andrews's army is prepared. That felt more like, since it actually showed our like main antagonist, it felt like more of setting up the end game, especially with the like explosive finish. But then because we got these like episodes, what, like 4 months apart, it's not. It kind of delayed the reactions or like the sentiment the fandom was feeling on both ends. Like,
yeah, well, I like I said before, I think this episode suffered from being split up from the rest of the season.
Yeah, like this doesn't feel like it's a part of the roller coaster the crew keeps describing 3D as. Like it's just a nice way to finish off what they set up in those first 9 episodes.
Yeah. It kind of.
Well, I mean, I think the big thing about the roller coaster metaphor, Nick, is that a roller coaster starts with a steady ramp up before the first big drop. So that's kind of how I see 3A. The steady ramp up before the roller coaster really starts moving.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's a reason why they went so soft, like 3A and stuff.
Yeah,
and then they're going to go like way more dramatic this second half.
Yeah, and right now I'm just being like, I'm just trying to be patient about it. Like I understand.
Yeah.
Like I understand what they're trying to do. Like I posted that clip in the chat. Like I understand. Just the wait to getting there, and then seeing how, like, if this aired with the rest of the 3A episodes, it would have been the highlight of that batch. Not the highlight, but it would have been like the main. It would have been the main closer, and then now that we have this as the opening, whatever we get in the future is going to kind of overshadow this episode.
And it's just unfortunate that that's how it wound up.
Yeah, and I know I talked about this in Wax Museum. It's like this keeps happening for Amphibia.
Like, do you think people aren't going to be able to like recognize the importance of it? Is that what you're getting at?
Eventually, they will, but for now, it's going to suck.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
gotta be patient.
about that, and like, I don't know. I don't disagree with you, Thumb. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like people do get the weight of it already. I don't really get the vibe that people don't. I don't know.
My like how I saw it like way back in like season 3A before this episode was that once episode 10 would come out, people would think of it more as the start. Like people would kind of downplay its importance as the end of 3A. And then once people like look back on 3A, they kind of don't take into account Escape to Amphibia as much because they're stuck with that experience of
Okay.
of 3A being like
think
of Escape to Amphibia being lumped in with 3B.
3B. I
Yeah.
get you now. Okay.
I see what you
I
mean.
was getting
Yeah,
I was getting
it's-
confused there for a sec.
It's
That makes
unfortunate. It's like
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
And I know it's possible to separate that experience, especially if you're like a new fan of the show and you're binging these episodes.
On Disney Plus, yeah. When they come out on Disney Plus, anyway.
Yeah, but like
So, I don't know.
who like everyone who's already like but until we get a bunch of people surpass the current the current base that like viewed these episodes this way, you're going to have a majority of the people who are like talking about Amphibia are going to be kind of irritating about how it's like, oh, 3A was like this episode, oh, that this final scene was like, oh, okay, we're done with the Earth stuff, we're back to this. And then of course like the ending is going to play a factor in how like this entire series is seen. But
yeah, I'll admit I'm not super engrossed in the social media stuff, but I've been seeing mostly positive responses to this episode. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not as in it as you, Thumb. So you probably have a better perspective on that.
I mean, maybe because I'm jaded because I'm monitoring the subreddit, and we all know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of what I've seen is the Discord and Twitter.
I mean, I've seen plenty of other takes on Twitter, but I'm not gonna get into that. That's not.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
I guess.
Yeah.
Don't
No.
worry.
Yeah, I guess I'm just annoyed that like this is just another instance of like a compromise Amphibia's had to deal with it. That Amphibia has to deal with, and it's not.
Yeah, it would be nice to not have Amphibia compromise its scheduling.
Yeah, especially with the legacy of the show, as of now, anyway. What's going to be interesting, like, with the current fan base, right? Because I like to also think of this as, like, the show's legacy in, like, a couple of years, right? I don't know why. I just like thinking like that. Because then you'll have the whole show kind of at your fingertips, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people may not even consider, like, 3A and 3B. When I was watching season 2, I didn't really think about like season 2 being cut in half. Not really, until I was in the fan base. Because then like you guys say 2A, 2B, I'm like, I know what you're talking about. But like when I first watched it, I didn't think of it like that. Season 2 is just season 2. There's no like in between. And I feel like for a lot of people, that's gonna end up being the case. Like with season 3, where they're gonna be like, when 3B shows up and all the crazy stuff happened, they're gonna be like, "Yo, season 3 was crazy! Oh my god!" And I like not go like, "Yo, 3B, what was going on with that?" Bah, 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 bah. Whatever. So I don't know. I think it's one of those things where like now at the current fan base's level, yeah, we might be seeing 3A. A lot of people see 3A poorly, which I don't. I actually really like 3A. I have my problems, sure, but I like
3A will definitely be better once we will be better regarded once the season is over.
Yes, exactly. Once we have the whole thing,
And
it's
that's
gonna
my
be
that's my same
different
sentiment
thing.
on Escape to Amphibia, because I guess for context, like going to like when I first watched the new normal, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. And then like looking back at it now, I can acknowledge that there's like some minor things. If the new normal like addressed some points a little bit better right at the beginning, then the rest of the segments after would kind of like wouldn't have to be burdened with us like
Yeah.
inferring some certain things.
Yeah,
With the case of
yeah,
Escape to Amphibia, like I'm like I said earlier, like I wasn't like blown away by the episode, but like I still think it was really solid. But I think over time, once we get more of the season, like as the season goes on, it'll definitely age better for me, better than
Yeah.
the new normal did.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's just that's part of just how Amphibia, works. I guess like age is like fine wine. I mean, I just I'm with you guys. I think like I don't know, give it like I don't know, like 1 or 2 years, like people will be looking back and see they just call the whole thing an absolute banger, and like yeah, I mean,
what was
I
the
guess
fan base
Amphibia
talking about?
yeah, and I guess like I guess the thing of Amphibia, I guess it can be painful for some on a weekly watch because it's like they're constantly waiting for like the payoff or whatever. Like they're constantly waiting for the justifications or payoffs or blah blah blah. I don't know.
Yeah, and yeah, I think what is it?
Like I do
I don't know.
feel that like that doubt sometimes, like when I watch the show, but like I know like I'm not gonna be like super critical about because I know I haven't seen the whole season yet, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like talk about it. But I like I know like for a brief moment it's like, okay, are they gonna cover this thing well? Like, and then eventually like my brain will say like, no, yeah, they will, just don't think about it yet.
Yeah, and it's one of those things for me where like a lot of the criticism for like 3A as a whole has mostly been about stuff that isn't there instead of the stuff that is there. A lot of times, like, it's saying, like, Sasha and Marcy aren't there. The parents aren't there. But, like, I feel like you don't hear people complain about, like, the stuff that is there. The Boon Choys were awesome. The Townies were awesome. Cloakbot was awesome. Freaking Mr. X was awesome. There's so many good things in 3A as a whole. I feel like the stuff that they want or fans want are just going to be in 3B, and it's like we're complaining about something that like
Isn't there?
yeah, exactly, and that in and of itself is kind of a weird critique. I mean, not necessarily all the time, of course. If something's missing in the story that needs to be there, but it's also like I don't know. It sometimes feels unfair criticisms to certain things of the season as a whole, like even like things about the tone and whatever. Can kind of it depends on how someone makes that argument. It depends how someone makes that argument. Because if I don't know. But like a lot of 3A stuff is just people complaining about what isn't there compared to what we have. And when you start appreciating 3A for what it was actually trying to do, there's a lot of good stuff here. And I feel like you can't ignore that. In my opinion, anyway. Even
No,
as someone
absolutely. No,
who did
I agree. I agree.
Oh yeah.
Like absolutely. Because
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just think that's the thing. When I feel like when new fans discover the show, and they just because like I feel like once you have like the whole show finally completed, and someone like discovers Amphibia, they won't be thinking about like, oh, this one specific episode about True Colors. No, it'll just be like I don't know. It'll just be like it's the completed story of Amphibia that draws them in, not one episode. Just like the whole idea of it. And I feel like that's gonna give them a much more positive experience.
Yeah, and I think like for okay.
No, go ahead.
I think
Impact.
like okay. I was gonna say like for me, I was also someone who did have like some weird vibes off 3A when I first watched it. But honest to God, I also had weird vibes about Amphibia when I first watched it, period. And then I watched it again. And then I gave it a shot. and I started paying a lot more attention, and I started appreciating it more. And then it got a lot better. 3A is literally just the same way I thought about the whole series. And I feel like honestly, it is. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people are getting that same high I expected, like, or not same high, that same kind of thought process because True Colors happened and all that other crap happened, and you want to get to that, right? You're not appreciating every other part of the show that made us get that point. Like that's the problem there. And I get that mindset as I had it too. And I think like we'll be good. 3B will be good. We'll be okay. That's all. I'm done. There we go.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, you said it best.
Yeah,
you said it best again.
I'll probably I want to say one more point, but I feel like we should talk about the. Yeah, I'll save that. I'll save whatever I have for another day. But yeah, like
Okay.
that's really. Yeah, I appreciate these thoughts. I guess on season 3A as a whole. I know I had it. I kind of asked whoever was on for Froggy Little Christmas. I asked the same kind of vibe, but before that, season 3A wasn't complete.
Yeah.
But now it is, and
they're 4 months.
Damn it! We gotta wait 4 months. What the fuck? Oh my god.
yeah, and I guess we'll leave it. We'll leave the season 3A talk at that for now. But I guess our final topic for today is going to be the teaser trailer that Matt released. Maybe it was a few hours before the episode dropped on demand, and oh boy, that was like a lot of. I don't want. Okay, it wasn't. It was about 30 seconds. We didn't get much, but we got. Oh wait, thank you, Chuck. Okay, before we get to the trailer, we gotta talk about the episode synopsis. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was so for episode 13, it was Mother of Olms and Grime's Pupil. Oh, thank you, Chuck, for posting the information. So the crew meets Mother Olm, keeper of ancient prophecies, and Grime's Pupil is Sprig trains with Grime, even though they hate each other.
I love that. I love that description.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, these synopses mainly just kind of confirm something we already assumed, but they're still really fun.
Yeah, and
even
I think
though they hate each other, I love that. Even though they hate each other, that's great.
It seems like Sprig has not fully forgiven Sasha and Grime.
Yeah,
which I don't blame him.
Yeah,
yeah. Plus, I feel like Grime probably feels embarrassed.
Oh yeah,
getting beat up by Sprig.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's good, dude. That's gonna be such a funny episode. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, do we need to talk anything else about Grime's Pupil, or?
I guess I'm surprised that it was Sprig. When I talked about it, I thought it would be like Ivy or something.
Yeah, I thought
his pupil.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be another
Sprig
planter.
makes more sense.
I thought it'd be Hop Hop or Polly.
I kind of assumed it would either be Sprig or Anne. Anne, because she still doesn't really know how to lead people that well, or Sprig, because, for a couple of reasons. First off, Sprig and Grime had that dynamic in True Colors, which makes pairing them up like a pretty obvious writing choice. Also, just Sprig's general arc has been going from the protected to the protector, and this feels like a real good way to start that, because Sprig has been in multiple situations where like
He's the object.
he's needed people to save him. Yeah, he's needed people to save him. So I can absolutely see Sprig wanting to learn how to fight better. I think the interesting thing to note is that it seems like neither of them really want to train since they hate each other. So something is instigating this training.
Yeah, there's like a reason they're forced together, and
Yeah.
I was kind of prepared for just like Grime and some other character because I was so used to. I mean, people kind of forget that in 3B we got Maddie and Marcy and Ivy on the Run and Toad to Redemption. So I was kind of just prepared for like, okay, maybe none of the cast, maybe none of the main cast are in here, and it'll just be.
Oh, you thought like Grime would be staying behind?
No, not staying behind. I just thought he'd be reacting with like another member of Wartwood or another character, like a member of the main, someone who isn't part of the main cast. Like same thing with Bessie Michelangelo. Like
I saw some speculation that it could be whoever Archie Yates was voicing.
Huh.
So yeah, I was prepared for anything in this episode. But I will say I am super pleased it's Sprig.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Who also I wanted to say, I think this does give good evidence that Sasha and Grime might have gone with them because otherwise, how else would this be happening, right? Because like they're going to be at Proteus right now. Like this is probably going to take place right after talking to the Mother Realms. So,
I mean, was there any doubt that Sasha and Grime would be going with them?
No, I saw some doubt, and like that scared me because I want my constant Sasha and Anne drama. Please, like, give me that.
Yeah, and
I wanted
want
that
that
too.
The synopsis.
It was
the synopsis mentioning Anne and her friends kind of made me more like confident that it was going to be more than just her
I just kind of I guess I never really thought about it. I just assumed that it would be the core cast, which at this point includes Sasha and Grime going to Proteus.
Yeah, I had kind of thought maybe they would have did. I'm like a split perspective. Like I don't want them to do it but like it from the descriptions, we went from like Sasha's Angels, then Town Road, then we go to Mother of Olms and Grime's Pupil. I thought they were doing like we cut to Wartwood, do their thing, do some stuff with the invasion.
Yeah. That is what they're doing, I think, isn't it? Like, isn't Sasha's Angels a solo episode with townies?
Well, I was thinking more so like
Sasha's part of that.
It looks like Anne has, but like I thought Anne would have to go to. Okay,
have y'all seen Charlie's Angels? Charlie is not a member of Charlie's Angels.
I know, but it's not always literal. Like I know, like Streetcar Named Desire. Like when they did Caravan Named Desire, it wasn't actually like about Hop Hop.
I don't know.
Relying on the trust of strangers or whatever that high school assignment was about for me.
Right.
But
like I need my Lil Nas X cameo on Town Road. I get it. I'm not watching that.
If an episode is called Sasha's Angels, I assume it's going to be about Sasha's Angels and not about Sasha.
That's fair.
Oh, another Toad to Redemption.
I'll take it. Honestly, I would take it. Like Wally, like the piece of you've guessed it would be like focused on Wally Croker and Lago.
I believe just because of their presence in the intro, it's probably Wally Croker and Loggle.
Yeah. They got to earn their keep. Well, not Wally. Wally automatic.
Yeah, well, Wally earned his spot in that final part of the intro. I think Mrs. Croker, especially when her episode is cracking Mrs. Croker.
Oh, God. Well, again, she's a secret agent. She's gonna train the.
I know, but she's got to earn that role to us. I know in universe, it makes sense.
Yeah. But Loggle,
Actually, no. Even
Loggle's almost there. Loggle's almost there. Yeah, Loggle's almost there. He's almost there.
and then we have Mother of Olms, and
yes, Mother Olm, Keeper of Prophecies.
Putting this down now, I'm thinking Proteus is going to be their main location for most of the season. I'm feeling it. Even with the fact that Grime's Pupil seems like it's going to take place in that ancient city, and then the fact right
You think
after
it's going to be
going
the
to
main location? I figured it'd be a
I'm
few
feeling it.
episodes at
I'm feeling it.
most.
I might maybe most of the second half. I'm feeling it because it's like let me double check. What episodes do we have here? I need to listen
So
to
like
episodes.
we've got Olm Town Road,
Yeah,
which which leads to Proteus. Then we've got
yeah.
Mother of Olms and Grime's Pupil, which take place in Proteus. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. And then after, what do we have after that?
You got the Root of Evil and the Core of the King. So like,
Flashbacks. So that doesn't have any.
I can force the idea that they're still going to be there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they won't be on screen. But then we're in Newts and Tights and Fight or Flight.
Yeah, we're already pretty
And
There's
close.
like
a chance. There's a chance.
Newts and Tights is going to be about the. So like we have them in Proteus for for 2 segments, 2 episodes that look like they're probably flashbacks, and could be seeing the flashbacks, so those might still be taking place in Proteus. So we'll go generously, say that Mother Olem is showing Anne these flashbacks, so she's still in Proteus for the Root of Evil and Core and the Kid. But then Newts and Tights is pretty clearly gonna be like.
Newt
I mean,
focused.
I just assume it's gonna be getting the Newts from Newtopia.
That's what I thought too.
I
Yeah.
was thinking
And
Tritonia.
Fight, yeah, well, yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah,
Tritonio went to prison in Newtopia. And then Fight or Flight, I don't know what that is, but that's probably not happening at Proteus, because if you're in Proteus, you'd hide, not fight or flight. Then the 3 armies in the beginning of the end, I guess maybe they gather the 3 armies in Proteus?
Or Fight or Flight
Maybe?
could be the debate of whether or not to stay in Proteus. Because like after seeing Escaped Amphibia and how close Andreas is,
Yeah.
like I feel
I
like
guess I could see
want
that.
ideas of this because, like, it's just right now. It seems like there's no safe case for Vanders. I mean, like, if he wants to, he can just fire the laser and just destroy your entire town. So, like, and Proteus,
That's why
it
the
might be a hidden
valley.
city.
I mean, that's why the valleys is like one of the safest places in Amphibia, because there's those big old mountains in the way.
right,
I mean, but can he still like fly over them? I mean, like,
he could fly around
can he
them.
get like high enough and just snipe them?
We don't know what like the maximum height of that is.
All right, fair.
And like even if we're like talking about like the mechanical aspects, from a pure narrative standpoint, the fact that Frog Valley is in a valley surrounded by mountains makes it a narratively safer place to be.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right, but I just think
now
with
it could wind up like being like, oh, it's not as safe as they thought, and that's kind of why I feel like Fight or Flight might, at least in my opinion, might wind up being the destruction of Wartwood.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
But
because it's
I mean,
immediately
that's
followed
maybe.
up because it's immediately followed up by the 3 armies in the beginning of the end, which makes me feel like, yeah, Fight or Flight is going to instigate something that kind of sets off the final chain of events.
Yeah. I could see it. I mean,
But yeah.
it's just that I think the other thing with me is, I don't know, it just feels like with Spryvy being there, it feels like they're trying to give us the most fan servicey Warwood episode they can before we leave it. So like, I don't know, part of me was just thinking
before it gets destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna connect to my Proteus there, but like that could work too. But yeah, I was just thinking like, yeah, my idea was that like we were gonna leave it for a long while, and like they wanted to give us. Well, I mean, I guess the fans were really into Spryvy. They basically wanted to satisfy as many people as they could with like Spryvy, basically. And so I was thinking like, okay, since they're like giving us something like that. Maybe we won't be seeing Wartwood for a long while, which also
guess
kind of seemed like to be the case, actually.
I mean,
like
I wouldn't assume Spryvy and Wartwood would be like the same kind of
Yeah,
objective.
like I'm not really feeling that explanation, to be honest. Like I'm not saying it's not the case. But I don't know. It just doesn't click for me.
No, I see.
Yeah,
I, don't know,
but
I just really like the
I
idea of
will
Proteus. I'm trying to
if
like.
if
Well,
if I'm wrong, I will accept being wrong.
I
I just really like the idea of Proteus. I'm like, please spend as much time as you want.
I guess
Like I want everything that you can look out of that.
we should probably get back to like the mother of Olms aspect of the episode with the
Yeah.
how she's
Yeah, I
like
forgot that existed.
how she's the keeper of ancient prophecy. So there's
Finally getting my damn reveals. I've waited too long for that.
Yeah. And it definitely seems like they're not, because she is the keeper of ancient prophecies. I think that probably kind of kill, because I know that some people are big fans of the three deities theory. But the fact that she is a keeper of ancient prophecies kind of makes it seem like she's not a deity.
She's
I
more of
mean,
an oracle
like
or something.
when I refer to
Yeah, like an oracle or a priest or something.
when I refer when I talk about the deity theory, like I kind of actually I did before think maybe Mother of Olms had some sort of connection to the stones, and this kind of debunks that. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Say that again. Don't
Wait, no,
because say that again.
because she didn't make the prophecy. She's the keeper of the prophecy. So I'm guessing she's just she does play a large role with how the gems work and stuff, especially with the we didn't even talk about the trailer yet.
Yeah, no.
But I guess
we'll get there. But
You're joking. No.
no,
You
Nick,
kidding me.
Nick.
I think
still-
I think at most I think I could see Olm being the oracle that made the
This can't be
prophecy.
happening. This can't be
But-
happening.
no,
There's
Nick.
still a difference between
Okay,
the oracle and like a god, you know?
so maybe
Alright.
because maybe we can't
I knew my
call
answers.
we can't call it a deity. Maybe we can call it like
Nope.
because
Nope.
we all, when we
Yeah,
talked
nope.
about when we talked about our deity theory, we kind of just said even though the core is like a man-made deity, like we still considered it a deity. But here it's just like we got to find another word that doesn't mean God, but just powerful
Yeah.
figure in this world,
Entity.
entity.
I don't know.
My heart's broken.
But
My
yeah,
heart-
I think Olm will probably be a powerful magical entity, keeper of prophecies, all that stuff. Plus, we
Long
know she's
day.
been around for a while.
Damn it, man.
No, because like Nick,
You
there's
think-
still hope because like there's still Valeriana, there's still Pink Frog. I feel
But
the
the pink
pink
frog
frog-
leads to Mother Olem. But oh man, God, oh.
I'm sorry, Nick, but this
Who made the
synopsis
gems and
definitely
temples?
killed. So I'm
Please,
sorry.
the gems and temples, though. Come on, who made those?
society.
Society made them.
No.
I mean, likely the person that probably it was Newtopia before the collapse that made him. They needed a way to charge their super weapons. And plus, we know. I mean, this is getting into the a bit into the weeds of the trailer and all that. But we did get hints that before Andreas took over, Newtopia was a lot more egalitarian.
What is
Like,
what does that
still,
mean?
it wasn't racially stratified to quite an extreme.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what that meant either. I was about to look it up.
Like, obviously, Newt's still on top because royal family, but from the shots that we saw in the trailer, it definitely seems like it was more even than what we have in current day Amphibia.
like a tad better, like a tad. I mean, you saw like Toads and Newt standing together. So, you can see Velo being a tad.
I think we can
Well,
talk
I mean,
about
they literally were standing together.
Yeah.
and since you're talking about like the very beginning of the of the teaser. Like we can talk
Yeah.
about it now. Like it starts off with Utopia Castle in the same position, but not really in ruin. It looks like it's fully
Yeah,
maintained.
like the flashback from True Colors.
Yeah, and it's not in the sky or anything. It's like it's in its same spot. So I guess it hasn't really launched from here in a long time. Yeah. And we get this shot of what I assume is Andreas's hand, like turning a key, and it might be opening some kind of door that's powered by the gems. Or yeah, it
Yeah.
has it's powered by gem energy.
Well, we
I
don't.
think you see
To be,
it like
yeah, I think it's mostly just the opening a door is what the key is.
yeah, because it looks like because Andreas uses like it's like the what's it called on the music box? I forget what it is. The turny thingy.
The
Look like
movement.
yeah, that thing.
I know Lemur calls it a drum, but it's called a movement.
Really?
Wait, no,
Yes,
wait, the drum or like
it's
the
called
key, the key thing?
A movement.
Oh, the
Like,
winding key.
Yeah, the winding.
Yeah,
The
the
winding key?
winding thing.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah.
the winding key is just called a winding key.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's what I mean. It looked like
Yeah,
exactly like that. Because like you saw the winding key used with the box and like in New Normal, where Andreas puts it in the box, turns it, and then it opens the portal. So it's like it looks like that's the same kind of key. That's what I'm thinking anyway. It looks like it.
same general design, which makes sense. Made by the
Yeah.
same people.
Yeah. And it looks like it's opening something calamity based. So it looks like you would use something like that in order to access those areas.
Yeah, and then after that, we get a quick shot of what appears to be Utopia throne room,
Yeah, and
and
I'm guessing
what looks like
Andreas's.
a court, an assembly of the royal court, just judging by all the nobles.
Yeah, it looks like the Pink Frog is making some kind of like announcement or proposition or some stating her
Yeah,
business there to Andreas.
she has an audience. She has
Yeah.
an audience with the royal family.
And I can't really.
Music slaps too.
Pardon?
Oh, I'm saying music slaps too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I think it's the same. It's Marcy's theme. I'm not sure if it's exact. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same from True Colors or if they slightly changed it up. But
I'm not sure either.
I think they kind of changed. It sounds like a little bit. It sounds more like. How do I say it? Like epic? I don't know. Like there's something different about it. I feel like. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't
like-
quite sound the
I
same.
get that.
Maybe. I feel like it might be also a thing of like we don't hear any voices from with the music too, so like we're able to hear it more clear. I don't think we've ever gotten this track like fully like
we haven't.
given without the
No,
yeah.
we've never had it isolated.
That sucks. We should have that
Well.
isolated. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, she's at this point. I'm not sure if Andrews is friends with Pink Frog at this point. It's not really like you can't tell.
It's hard to tell. He looks distant, but it could be just like royal procedure, or it could be their first meeting, or
Yeah.
however it goes. But yeah, she has an audience in the throne room. We see what I assume is Andreas's dad.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Make the most sense. I don't know.
We know he has a statue in the throne room too, so important dude.
and he looks like the same size as Andreas now, so their growth
That's
is
just-
probably the same. Like it's probably
Yeah.
it's not. It's a natural thing for them.
That's just how big Leviathans get,
And
which makes sense.
then like we see that like Andreas's dad, I guess that's what we'll assume. He has the core crown, and
Yeah.
the very next
Let's call
scene
him
is
King Leviathan.
okay, King Leviathan, and then immediately cuts to the shot of them opening up the entrance to the core.
Yeah, exact same shot from Olivia and Yuna.
I guess it's angled a little bit, like it's angled downward a little bit more.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's the same.
it's
yeah,
clearly the same door.
Yeah.
And that
And-
shot does give us a really close look at that halberd.
you guys really like that that weapon.
It's such a cool halberd. Okay, it's so cool. It's got a Millennium Eye on it.
You think the core's watching through that too?
Maybe, I don't know.
It might,
looks
honestly.
badass, though.
Who knows? Oh.
It was in the crown. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
that's the
It could be in
definite
anything.
possibility.
It
Yeah,
could,
it
it could
really
be in
could.
anything. I don't know.
Oh,
There's
and-
something going on with that halberd, and I kind of want to see Andreas fight with it in the finale.
Oh, it'd be really cool, actually.
I don't know. I kind of like the sword better.
The sword's cool, and it's what he uses in the intro, but man, I don't
The
know.
sword's iconic though. It stabbed Marcy in the chest.
It
like,
did. It did stab
iconic.
Marcy.
You know, you gotta use it again. At
Eh,
least.
I get it. I don't know. I just like that. I just like pole arms. All right, pole arms are badass.
I got you.
Anyway, after that shot lasts for like literally half a second.
Yeah, and then I guess since we're talking about King Leviathan, like there was a statue of him right over one of the entrances to the core.
Yeah, the secret entrance.
Right. And yeah, that's just a nice thing that the crew like planned out, like they knew this was.
Yeah.
Oh, the statue of King Leviathan, it has like it has a sword on, like a sharp sword on top. I don't know if it's in the. Oh, wait, it is. Never mind. It does have the pointy thing on top. Never mind.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And I guess that's what makes a halberd
Yeah.
the thing. And then we get like the pink frog collapsing, and then we we get Andreas and we get the toad.
Yeah.
the-
We get we can assume is Barrel at this point.
Barrel.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
He's
maybe
wielding
this, maybe
Barrel's
this toad just
hammer.
has Barrel's warhammer.
I mean, he just has Barrel's warhammer. It's
Yeah.
possible.
Totally.
And it definitely seems like, regardless, at this point, the three of them are much closer.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just really nice to get that confirmation that this Barrel's
Yeah.
Barrel.
Yeah. I mean, we knew
Yeah.
Barrel was Barrel, but man, is it nice to know that Barrel is Barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, to finally have that ingrained. We've been like a really long time to have that confirmed. Too.
And there's not really any clear reason why Pink has collapsed, so I have to assume, like, she just got some really bad news or something.
And she was like running to reach them, and
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe she's sick. It's hard to tell what exactly brought this on. She appears to be out of breath, though.
yeah.
I don't know if she's running, though, because she appears to collapse from a standing position.
Yeah, I mean, see, it made me think was like, I don't know, I just thought it was the core messing with her somehow. Like what's going on? Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm actually not seeing right now.
We're just gonna
Yeah.
just have to wait.
Yeah.
I've said it before, but we're missing a huge piece of the puzzle, and that's what happened between Andreas and his friends. And as much as I love this teaser, it really didn't give us any hints about what might have happened.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to wait a little while longer.
Which, I mean, I'm not.
I think that's
I'm
good.
kind of glad about
Yeah,
that
I mean-
a little bit. Yeah, because I didn't want to trail.
I'm glad it didn't tell us, because
Right.
this is like the big mystery of the entire show. What happened to the original trio?
And I don't know how important this will be, but the very like top left corner looks like a bunch of planets on the ceiling.
Oh
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Some sort of. Yeah. Huh.
Like
Never noticed that.
maybe this is like a observatory or
Maybe.
Actually, no.
It doesn't appear to be an outside a window, though.
right. So maybe this is just like. Oh, you can
I
see.
think this might just be a hall, like a big hall, because we see portraits
Yeah, that's.
of the Leviathan family on the wall behind him.
But the top looks kind of circular,
Maybe,
so maybe
like-
it's like a.
Yeah, some sort of big domed room. I'm not sure. It does have
It
those
looks-
It does have those ribbed arches.
It looks
Also-
kind of like for
Oh, yeah.
the planets, like probably represents like so in Escape to Amphibia when Terri is talking about the multiverse, we see all kinds of planets and stuff,
Yeah.
right? It's something like that, most
I
likely.
mean, my
like,
big, yeah.
representing the
my
worlds
big-
they conquered.
Sorry, continue.
No, I was gonna say it represents the worlds they've conquered so far. That was my guess.
My big thing is that the symbols, the creatures on the ceiling almost look like shadowfish.
Ooh.
At least
Like
the
you see,
one.
like the one directly behind Andres' shoulder. Like that kind of
A little bit.
that looks weird. That doesn't look like a normal creature, and it has the like very prominent eye that we see on the shadowfish murals.
I think the one at the very top, the top left one, it looks that
Yeah.
that resembles a shadowfish more to me. But like, yeah, it doesn't look
I'm-
like
I'm-
a bird of some
Yeah,
kind.
It looks weird, is all I'm saying. I don't know what it is, but it's got the kind of very wing-like fins and the big prominent eye. From that looks pretty similar to what we saw in the True Colors mural.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. It's like a like a
Yeah.
J shape or
So,
T
like-
shape.
Yeah, like so you see what I mean. Like it's got like the it's not identical, obviously, but I don't know. I might be looking too deep into it, and the quality isn't great. So I'm not looking at like a high res screenshot, but it gave me Shadowfish-esque vibes, is all.
And even the flashback scenes themselves, they have like, I don't know what kind of filter or how I describe it. It's like a lot more.
They've got like a sepia tone,
Yeah, sepia.
and maybe even and I think like a film grain over it as well.
Like the quality of the video I'm looking at right now, it's like I can't really tell if it's like film quality, but yeah, maybe. They intentionally like
Yeah,
are doing
they
this.
change what the flashback looks like, which
Yeah.
makes it pretty obvious that the next shot is not a flashback.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Like, it's a cave, but they want it to look like the night sky in a way with the stars and
Yeah,
the core.
which
Yeah, it's interesting how like you have an Olm imagery again, like surrounding
Ouroborosing around a Triforce.
Yeah, and these gems look like are these? I don't think they're the same gems unless
I
unless
don't think they are because they don't have the same circle cut top.
yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Like that, yeah, makes me more curious what this is supposed to be. Like,
It could just be like a very in-depth representation where they got little LEDs to light up the gem. I don't know. It is interesting though that the gems are glowing.
but we
Goddamn
did
it.
see
Oh,
that
we have the
like,
chorus eyes right above it.
Yeah.
No.
And
No.
this does
Not yet.
imply that the prophecy is about the core.
I can accept it. Not yet. Damn it. Oh man.
and
Okay, well, I'm gonna stop.
I wish they showed us what
I
was.
gotta be ready for this.
I wish they showed us whatever was at the bottom because I know the size show like the sun and the moon and
Yeah. They cropped this panning shot and it's killing me.
It's about 4 more weeks away before we get our full answers, I guess.
Is it 4 weeks?
Hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, 4 weeks until like
A
Corn
month.
the King and Ruin the Evil. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got, and this is probably the most explicit depiction of a muraled prophecy that we've gotten in the show so far.
And I guess maybe this is from Mother of Olms or Old Town Road because we know Olms live in caves, so maybe this is like a.
Yeah,
And the very top left, it looks like a. Like it's
stalactite.
yeah, from a cave. So
Yeah, this. I'm not sure where this is. This could be Proteus. This could be like on the search for Proteus.
but the glowing
I'm not sure.
gems just.
Yeah, that really fucks my mind. It's like,
Yeah, the glowing gems
what
are
is that
interesting.
meant to be? Like what is going on with that? Like, that's just.
I mean, look, if we're being honest, just putting the calamity box on a pedestal turned on a lot of old tech. Maybe not all of that tech was robot factories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
that
maybe a bunch of old systems were turned back on. Proteus might be like partway on already, because we have to assume it's as old and probably ran off the same power source that Utopia did.
And maybe Proteus might be even older than this. Older than Utopia.
Very well could be.
Well, thank God we
the
don't
fact
have
that
to wait
it's
too long for those answers.
the fact that it's like built underwater, where like, you know, the original amphibians like just evolutionary evolved from. I mean, it very well could be older than Utopia was.
And then the final shot is Anne waking up, and the aspect ratio changed like in between. Like this scene has a different aspect ratio compared to everything else, which is kind of odd.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. I'm not sure if it's to cut off like something, or if it's just for like cinematic effect. The aspect ratio change is very like surprising, though.
Like personally, I don't see why they would do this for because I know Hilda did it for their movie, but because they're on Netflix, they can kind of change their aspect ratio, and then if you have that kind of screen, you can take advantage of that. But then, since Amphibia is like airing on Disney Channel, I would expect everything to be in the same aspect ratio. But if it's happening here, then maybe they're doing it for as an effect.
Yeah, it could just be part of the episode, or we just don't know.
Like my guess is maybe like when Anne ends up talking to the Mother of Olms, and she's in this like new place or some kind of astral plane. Maybe they do this kind of thing just to emphasize how weird it is. But we now I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, like, I mean, the good thing is like we're getting the Mother Realms like pretty close to the start of 3B, so yeah, I'm just really happy we don't have to wait too long. Like, let me check when it's coming.
Because this kind of looks like the kind of scene where like the main character has like some kind of spiritual vision, and then they wake up right after that.
Yeah, that's the same vibe I get.
Or it's waking up and then beginning the vision.
I think it's likely the former. This gives me the Mother of Olms gives Anne a vision, and then this is her waking up from said vision.
Right.
Just because of the look of surprise and realization on Anne's face.
Yeah.
And then
But yeah,
I guess the final part, like that the music they play at the very end, it sounds like I want to say that's important.
I think it might be.
yeah. The fact that you mean the fact that like it's Marcy's?
No, just like the final, like when they give the message Amphibia returns March 19th, they play this
Oh,
like
that one.
yeah, this
Yeah.
that I don't think we've heard that theme before or that
Yeah, no, I don't
music
think. I think
before.
it's new.
I don't think so either. I was trying to think maybe Calamity Box, but it doesn't sound. Oh, so like I'm not sure. I don't think it's anything we know.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt was just trying to mess. Like, imagine that's like the emotional music they play in the finale. Like when potentially if there is a planter split, like I don't know, I can see that being some emotional music they play there. But
Oh,
I guess we'll just have this.
since
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Nick, finish your point.
Oh yeah, I don't really have much else to say.
Oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
I was just going to say that maybe since Escape to Amphibia established that like every planet, like every location has a song, maybe this is Earth's musical cue to get back because we didn't really hear that in True Colors.
Yeah, I
That's a
could.
good point.
I think that's probably a possibility at least.
Yeah.
Or it's something we'll hear in the same episode, like as Core
Yeah.
of Root of Evil or Core of the King. Like for the flashback, it's maybe it's when Pink goes to Earth.
Oh damn it! I was about to say that.
Ooh,
Ooh,
stole that
that
from
could be
me.
fun.
I was about to say that.
That's that,
Yeah.
and then I'm looking forward to that too. I hope we
Yeah.
do get to see that. I don't want it to be left up to our imaginations.
Yeah. I think
All right.
we covered everything. I think this is a good time to wrap up.
yeah.
I guess Impact. What are any final thoughts on this week of news?
Not really, to be honest. I feel like the teaser trailer kind of was just. It didn't really give us a lot, but I don't really mind that at all. The Marcy journal sounds pretty neat. I mean, I'm gonna buy it, and I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you guys are gonna buy it, but I'm gonna get it for sure. And I guess other than that, for the episode itself, Escape to Amphibia was a great episode. And I'm very excited for 3B. That's about it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Impact. PC, final thoughts?
I am pretty much the same. I'm just excited to see what happens next.
All right, thank you, PC. Nick, final thoughts?
I'm just ready for all the epic shit to happen. So I'm almost done.
All right, thank you. And yeah, like overall, it was a solid episode. All the news was very informative to our speculation, and looking forward to getting that all debunked by next week.
I love that.
But yeah, that pretty much concludes this week's episode. And next week we'll be covering Commander Ann and Spivey. The start of
Nice.
We'll have a 1 week hiatus and then get to 3B.
Yay.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, that's all for today, and thanks guys for coming on, and see you guys next time. Say goodbye, everyone.
Yeah.
Peace,
Bye.
everybody.
Hey guys.
See ya.